Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. We got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm just a question asker. I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheem, but we got two brothers here that's very important. We got two brothers with us already early this morning. We got the elders. We're going to kick it off with the elders this morning. These are my brothers from another mother, but we got the same father. We got Ibrahim. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Doing well. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well,
Doing
like my
very
salam.
well. Alaikum salam like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. I pray everybody's doing well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Doing good, man. We're gonna kick this thing off and get this thing started this morning. And we a lot of times we have conversations before we go on air. We talk a little bit before we go on air. And it is brought to my attention that we want to talk about something in particular today. And we're gonna jump it off. We're gonna jump off with this right here. Um, there's the shootings, the killings, and stuff like that, man. In our community, man. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, why do you think the amount of killing and deaths in our community? Some will call it black on black crime, or whatever you want to call it. Why do you think it's so rampant in our community in this day and time?
Uh, I think again, this is the time we live in, the time when things are revealed, the time where even though it's revealed, there's no understanding of why things happen to us as an individual and as a group.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the disconnect from a spiritual base uh,
Mm-hmm.
leads to what scripture called demon possession, or modern psychologists say possessed by idea, possessed
Mm-hmm.
by ideology, or possessed by thought. And the thought is that there's no hope. And when
Mm.
there's no hope, if you did a survey of those kids that did that Columbine killing, they wrote manifest. They were writing down that it wasn't revealed. They never revealed it to the public because they wanted to go to the thing that it was about or a bullet, but it was a war against being. It was anger at God, and
Mm.
I identify with this growing up as a child, with hearing religious teachings and hearing the goodness of God, and then trying to understand if this God is good, why is all this happening to people, and why this happened to that one, and why I was in the same situation that soldier was, but he got shot, I didn't, and it brings that kind of things like in the middle of this here, trying to find the goodness of God in war,
Mm-hmm.
and it's and we're saturated now by this war all over the place. There's a psychological war that's always been going on. A war, like to say in literature, and all the different religions of a good and a bad,
Mm-hmm.
the dichotomy of life.
Okay.
And I think when you lose hope and you're irritated and you're trying to get a way out of here, you don't want to be here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You do
Mm-hmm.
risky things. You don't know it, but you're seeking to get out of here. I always wanted to get out. I looked around as a child when I first came in consciousness of who I was. And as an individual, I was about 3 or 4 years old when I just realized that I was an individual
Mm-hmm.
and I was being oppressed by the world around me, my parents. Because you're born with desire of freedom inside of you. You don't want nobody to tell you anything.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest part is trying to taking the counsel of our elders. But we sort of despise our elders. We thought they didn't do what we would have did if we were back then. We would have, I would have did this and I would have did that. But but you got to listen to people who've been here longer than you. That
Mm-hmm.
was always a wisdom we had inside of us. We recognized our elders, even though they were unlettered, couldn't read. They had gained wisdom through their experience. And
Mm-hmm.
when you found a kid that listened to that, his path in life was different than one that rebelled. So I think it's just a matter of getting a reconnection to a God source.
Mm-hmm.
And I will, you got to start where you are, but you got to recognize there's something bigger than you, and there is behind all of that is a loving God,
Mm-hmm.
and striving to try to find that.
That's good. And I'm glad
Uh,
you made a circle. Then I'm glad you made that circle because at first you were saying that people don't love and stuff like that, and we was trying to
mhm,
associate people's disconnect in God. And you made that connection, and I'm glad you do it, because people have ideals, people do the different things, people a lot of time have bad, I don't know if I even want to say bad hearts, but their intentions are not
Mm,
always godly. And so we can't we
yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea to tie in their godliness to God. I think that's something that we definitely gonna talk about before the day's over. But let me go to Ibrahim.
Okay.
Ibrahim, I want to come to you and ask you the same question. Why do you think there's so much, and people like to label it a certain thing? They say black on black crime. Well, we can say white on white crime. We can say a Latino on Latino crime. So but what we're talking about particular right now is black on black crime. Why is there so much black on black crime? Because like I say, you can go in any neighborhood and there's the same amount of crime actually. But why do we have so much in our community, and why is the light shine so much on our community in comparison to everybody else's?
You know, I know I've heard this argument over and over again. You know, so-called, or the other argument was, you know, that everybody does this and that, and but the crazy number is that we're 90% in a lot of places of the murders committed, and we commit the murders upon ourselves. Now, factually, this
Hmm.
is pretty much what goes on when you have a community of a group of people, or ethnicity, color, race,
Ibrahim,
whatever you want to call it.
Ibrahim, let me step
You're
in.
gonna have
Let me step in 1 second, brother. Let me step in 1 second. I'm certainly gonna let you finish. But are you saying that we as a community commit 90% of the murders that go on in the world, or better yet in the United States?
understand world in certain areas in the United States. You
Mm,
know, we can look at the figures on that.
mm-hmm,
You know, I can start looking them up after I get a chance, right?
mm-hmm,
We commit 90% of the murders and crime in, uh, in various communities. Well, the reason is because when you're in a community of same or like people, or community closed off or hugged in, and we are pushed into certain communities, or we accept certain communities because they're more like us, or we're more alike, or the financial means, or whatever. We tend to group, and everybody tends to group in the communities of like-minded communities, like people.
mm-hmm.
And then when this happens, when crime is committed, you commit a crime on the most convenient. A criminal is convenience, right?
Yes.
The most convenient thing, the most where you can get in and get out without being noticed, so
Mm-hmm.
to speak, right?
Where you are.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those type of things happen. So there's a lot of basic reasons why we have crime in our communities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another reason is because I think there's a value. There's no value and there's no worth for black men or black women. There's no value or worth
Mm-hmm.
based on just living an average life. If you're a person of certain amount of intelligence, or wealth, or something, somehow you did something incredibly wrong, or you turn your back on your people, or you sold out, or you think that you're smarter, you talk like white people. I mean, we hear this a lot all the time. So today I like to talk about in our community, right? I'm not going to bring in the different murder happened like Las Vegas, or the Combine thing, or something like that, even though black people that were killed within this, right? But what I like to bring in is why we're doing this in our community every day. When you look at Fox News, Channel 5 in Atlanta, or Channel 2, or Channel 11, it's like every day it's a black person that killed another black person, or a black person that killed, or say a brown skinned person has killed somebody in the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
That community valued, that had some value in the community, and where we want to say what we did or not. And there's a lot of reasons for this,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems that the people that I'm interested in is the so-called black militants and the rights people and everything. We just walk right past that like it don't exist, and wonder how come we're not respected, and we look like as fools
Mm.
because we can't take care of the problems in your own home. If you run abroad and around screaming about problems everybody else having in your neighborhood, your
3 minutes,
community,
Ibrahim.
and they're looking right in your house,
Mm-hmm.
in your home, and then you're not doing anything. As a matter of fact, you're doing even worse.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Creating greater atrocities in your home than you could be telling other people they're doing in their house.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time that we have to really look into our own home and change the problems in our home, and stop asking the government that at one time we're talking about the problems with the government we're having, how they're treating us.
Mm-hmm.
But we're asking the same people to resolve our own problems.
Okay.
That's just like
Stay right there, brother.
Hitler to resolve the problems that's going on in your community. You know what happens after that, you know.
Good deal. Stay right there, Ibrahim. Stay right there. Ibrahim, we got to keep it moving, brother. Stay right there. We're gonna definitely come back to you because I know you got a lot that you want to talk about on this particular topic. We got next person on the phone line. We got Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Man,
Good morning, Captain.
we started off on 110 miles an hour this morning, and we asked the question, why is there so much crime in our community? And some will label it black on black crime. And I said earlier that that's just a label that they put on there because we can go in a Caucasian neighborhood, it could be white on white crime. We're going to Latino, it could be Latino on Latino crime. So it's based on geography, I guess is what it would be more so. But why is the light shine so much on us, and why are we doing it to each other at such a rate?
Well, first of all, there's several issues in that question.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it just for the same reason everyone else is doing it, because
Mhm.
you're wicked and you don't have the best moral values and ethics.
Mm-hmm.
Combine that with
And you say that's across,
racism.
and you say that's across the board, regardless of what neighborhood you're in.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
when you add racism to that makes it entertainment almost, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
for the media, because the media is racist,
Mm-hmm.
and it's racist in exposing the behavior
Mm-hmm. Okay.
of Black people
Mm-hmm.
to paint a particular picture for its own purpose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Other communities have just as much crime
Yeah.
as the African American community.
Absolutely.
It's
The
true.
problem is the assessment of why this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
If you continue to believe it has something to do with your race, you will fail.
Mm-hmm.
You will fail.
So what is when you say in one instance you say
Hold
that?
on one moment. You got come back to me, Raheem.
Okay. All right. Rico. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm just glad that the Creator gave me another beautiful day, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Likewise, brother.
Good morning,
Likewise.
Rico.
Good to have you too, man. Good to have you with us. Rico, what is on your heart about this question that I'm asking, man? And why is it so rampant in our community? And why is the light shine so heavily on our community and not on the others? Because like Leonard did say a second ago, it happened in other communities as well. But it shines so much. It's that black on black crime is push, 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 push. You can say, and Rico, you've seen the situation. You can say something about police brutality, and somebody in the conversation gonna say black on black. What about black on black crime? Because that light is shining so heavily on our community and not on everybody else's, because they're killing each other as well. Why do you say it is, Rico?
Well, to be honest with you, man, there's quite a few different factors behind that.
Mm-hmm.
I can address one of them. We have been subliminally programmed to have unconscious aggression against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Ibrahim said something real key. He said convenience. And see, Black people in each other's neighborhood, we're very convenient, but that's not the only convenience about it. We all know that there's a consequence that was taught and instilled in Black people in the past about going against white people.
Mm-hmm.
There are severe consequences. Torture, terror, savage. I mean, some of them was the smallest, slightest things, but you were subconsciously programmed. And then you had parents and grandparents that passed it on down. Don't look at white folks in the eyes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Call them Malcolm, call them tough. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now here it is, this unconscious fear, along with the severe consequences for going against certain people. But you got a right to be mad and angry and want to kill and hurt these people. You're gonna take it out on the most convenient people,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that you might suffer the less consequences for, because you see it on TV every day. So now here go the subliminal programming. Not only have they beat it into you and terrorize you by seeing you killing your own people or raping your dad in front of you, but now they got video games and they got videos of police choking people out for selling cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
I can't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
I can't breathe. How many times have we heard I can't breathe?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's so much, it's so hard getting justice for people like Rodney King. It's so hard getting justice for people like Ahmaud Arbery, when you have the judicial system in place that's supposed to get him and his family justice, working on behalf of the same people that always had privilege entitlement. So it's a little easier to get away with shooting another nigga.
Wow.
Your ops, smoking on your ops, and then look, they letting them make music about it. They paying them good money. These rappers, the ones that are doing so, this new generation we talk about doing so good and don't play. Yeah, they don't play. They look right now, they're putting out threats against a guy named Charleston White, but they don't never say nothing about the Patriots front. These guys sit back and make videos threatening to kill each other and making songs threatening to kill each other and won't even target the biggest enemy that has them in this situation where they feeling like it's okay to do this to each other. This is a lifestyle.
Have we been bamboozled? Rico, have we been bamboozled, brother?
Man, bamboozled. Man, you don't been turned all the way out. Turn all the way out. You got people that sell out that don't know they sell out. I mean, we just had people on here yesterday talking about the young generation turning out and showing out and doing good, and that's true. That's true. I don't want to discredit that because I love seeing that. Man, you know what? Ibrahim, I'm gonna give you thanks, man, because you said it in so many words. We need this. We need to address our situation because we have issues that we have to wake our people up to. That, like you said, we bamboozle. This psychological warfare, this good and evil, this integrity and character thing that we need to talk about, the good and evil, the wickedness that Leonard just spoke of that's in our community. It is in every community. But for some reason, we don't understand why we have some of the dysfunction we have going on because it's weird.
Exactly. Let me go back to Leonard. Leonard, you back with us?
Yeah. Can you hear me right here?
Yeah, it's a little grainy. It's a little grainy, but I can hear you.
All right.
There you go. Go ahead, brother.
Well, like I said before, if you're focusing on anything other than the issue at hand, you're gonna have a problem. It's not race related. People been killing people. Before there was ever a video game, we had murder. Murder is it's not as strange as some people make it out to be. What it is it's failure to be able to resolve issues and conflict. People don't kill one another because they black. People kill each other because they have issues with conflict. And if you do not have a way to resolve your conflict or that satisfies you, anybody will murder. They have exploited the murder that goes on in the black community, which is why it seems more prevalent. But it is not. You do not kill another person simply because you mad at somebody else. People kill within proximity of each other because those are the people that they associate with. That's an actual theory. You're not going to fall out with somebody 30 miles away. You're going to fall out with somebody sitting next to you, irritating you. Any other reason for it is useless. People are murderers. That's who they are.
And so what I'm hearing you say, let me pause your time. What I'm hearing you say is it doesn't matter whether it's black, white, orange, polka dot, or lily stripe. They're killing the people that's close to them, and not necessarily just because of the fact that they're the same race as them.
No, it's because they have issues with those people. You're more likely to get in a fight with the guy next door than the guy 200 miles away.
Okay.
So if we continue to try to make it some type of black problem, we're gonna get further away from the solution. People know they're beautiful. People love one another. They sleep with one another. They make babies with one another, and everything else. Don't exclude murdering as something so different.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good deal. Let me go to Queen. Good morning, Queen. How you doing? How you doing this morning?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm doing awesome
Good deal.
and blessed.
We're asking the question. I see you commented a couple of times in the text. I'm definitely glad that you are a part of the broadcast, man, and that you're supporting us in that way. But what do you think about this whole situation? Why do you think it's so pushed so much more in our community and not in other communities? 'Cause like Leonard just said, I believe we do have a point. You know, it's based on where you are and who you are around, who you kill. And not that it's good to kill anybody. That's not, we certainly not saying that, but that's how it happened. But it's pushed so much. Black on black crime is pushed so much more than any other community. Why do you think that is?
I just feel it's because of how the world view us.
Mm-hmm.
The world view us as being a race that has no morals.
Mm.
And with people, the way they represent us or they represent themselves, I don't believe that people just kill, I'm gonna say just because.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it's a trigger of the mind. A lot of times it could be someone that doesn't have faith in God. And it could, and then there's the situation where you may have a person that has been wronged so much that they feel like the only way they can be at ease is to take that out on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, as the gentleman said earlier, they're not going to target somebody 30 miles away. Well, we know that has happened. So we can't really say, to me, in my opinion, we can't really say that because there are people who have traveled to different states just to kill somebody.
Yeah, that's true too. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I just don't like the fact that we are a race that is demeaned so much and looked at as a threat.
Mm-hmm.
You keep making us looking like we are a threat. So I don't like the games because I'm not even going to say games are for people who feel like they don't belong. They don't belong in their family and stuff like that. I just think that games were created for someone to have something to be a part of.
Mm.
And their values behind being a gang member are some are killing, some are beating, and they just go out and they just do it just because. I had a friend of mine, one of my best friends from Jamaica. His son was gunned down in front of a store because the guy said something to him and he laughed at him and kept walking.
Mm-hmm.
That was choice.
Mm-hmm.
It was a gang thing that was going on, but the young man, he was not looking for trouble. He was looking just to be him. And yet another person chose to take his life.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That happens a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Husbands with wives, wives with husbands. It's that nobody else can have you. Why not?
Wow.
If it was set in stone, y'all wouldn't be having the problems you're having.
Exactly. Let me see. We got a 3-minute thing, so your 3 minutes is up. So we're gonna come back around. So stay right there with us. Don't go nowhere. If you got some time, hang out with us today, man. We definitely want to hear your input. Let me go back to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I just picked up a snapshot to discredit a lot of things that people are saying because we don't want to look at ourselves. I just like your mother telling you our house is too dirty. It's dirty. Then you went somebody's house is more filthy than yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say? Well, their house is dirty, man. So therefore, why don't you look at people who got clean house? You know what I mean? And see what they're talking about. I run into that a little bit sometimes with different family members. But I saw a little article that I sent you. This is a microcosm, a shot 2020 Atlanta homicide by the numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
The average dose killed was about 33. Nearly 80% of 121 were black men, 11 were white men. 22 women were killed, of both races were killed, though mostly were black. 1 Asian man, 2 Hispanic men were among the dead. Most were killed by rifles, handguns. Smaller numbers were suffocated or killed by blunt force trauma or stab. 1 was starved, another was struck by a vehicle. And most were happening in late hours and the southwest side of Atlanta. Now, I actually participated, and I have mothers that I dealt with both sides of a crime, right, of killing the people. And I've actually dealt with it. Now, you tell one of these mothers that live in some of these neighborhoods that, oh, this what you seeing black on black crime. You just being out there. Oh, the gangs are real good people. Some gangs are for this, some gangs are for that. You go tell these mothers, and there are hundreds of them, thousands of them here in Atlanta, and fathers, that how good the gang is, how good gangs is, and gangs that's people trying to get together, and that this is a problem that don't happen to black men, it happen in all the community. They ain't concerned about what happens in Buckhead or Lenin Square, even though there's a lot of black people killing people in Buckhead and Lenin Square. I'm talking about here and now what's actually happening. I'm not talking about any altruistic thing. I don't have any agenda. And my agenda is that if we don't have a safe community for men, women, and people to have jobs and business enterprise to come in, you see what happens in the black community. You know, you can say that people are racist because we don't have the best of public service. We don't have all the good malls. You go in the white community, go in the malls and that. Go to a Walmart in some white communities. And go to Walmart where there's a predominantly black community, and you see them. Go to Kroger, for God's sake. Go to Publix in different communities, and you'll see,
30 seconds.
Almost 180 degrees different. It caters to a more affluent community thing. But however, it's just the way even though our community is just as influent, but sometimes, in some cases, more affluent, this is the way that people look at us because they don't feel their community is safe because certain things happen. I don't know if it's true or not, you know. But yeah, I do believe it's true because I've seen this. Now, as far as black on black crime, and you get less time for killing a black person, a white person, that seems to be the case. Now, I've seen this from wisdom and knowledge, what I actually seen. I can't say, I won't say certain things, but I'll say my father something. My father killed a lot of men that unfortunately were black men. He killed them for reasons, for self-defense. We own businesses and stuff like that. People try to take advantage of us. He wasn't the kind of man that backed down or blinked his eye. And he never did time, he only did time for killing 2 men. And that was in the early 50s, and he did a couple of years, right? Other than that, you know, the other 7 or 8 men that he killed in defense for his family or whatever, you know what I mean, and that it was known about, you know, he didn't do any time.
Okay.
He didn't go.
Gotta wrap it up. You gotta wrap it up, Ibrahim.
Okay, well, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's a real thing. It's happening, and another you can say about it, say it's not happening.
Okay.
If we don't do our own community, we don't take our own community, make our own community safe and prosperous, right?
Ibrahim.
Then we ask other people.
Ibrahim, you still gotta wrap it up, brother. We gotta move to somebody else. Hold on for a second. I'll come right back to you. Let me
wrap it up.
Let me go to Brother Pete. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Doing good this morning, family. How we doing? DKM Radio Morning Glow panel listening audience.
Hey.
DKM Radio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're asking a question this morning, and I want to hear your heart on this, man. We're talking about killing. We're talking about black on, and people title it black on black crime and black on black killings. But like we've established, same amount of murders happen in other neighborhoods, white on white communities, Latino on Latino, Hispanic on Hispanic, whatever it is. But why is the light shine so heavily on our community, and the verbiage is pushed so hard, black on black crime, in comparison to everybody else? Why is that?
Well, we termed a new phrase for us, and we call it the black on genocide. When it comes to us and how we do each other, and that's us dealing with us, speaking directly to us. Good morning, my brother. Welcome in to DKM Radio. You are on the Morning Glow. We're so grateful that you came in. We'll be right with you too. What we want to understand is the system of America in function has had a mentality in function of its society and its operation of being a society, a government, of predatorily governing, dealing with a certain aspect of this community. The mindset of the system in function has a historical reputation of denigrating, disrespecting, diminishing a certain aspect of the society, and it tends to be the darker ones, the African American, Negro, Black, colored, indigenous, Aboriginal, North, South, Central American folk. Now, the narrative is always created, so we see it repeated in many different aspects, but it's a narrative that's created to present a mindset and to socially engineer and steer a behavior, a reaction, an interaction, a prejudging, if you would, prejudice, and prejudice and prejudging this segment of people. So they want to create this this image of these people, and then that's the overriding concept that they want to push, right? And then it's beneficial for the judicial system. It's beneficial for the criminal justice system. It helps feed other industries. Okay, now every ethnicity have their issues with themselves, and people are people on planet Earth. So this great concept of breaking folks down along their skin color and eye color and hair color and gender and religion, and all this is a whole lot of overwhelming foolishness that's focused on heavily in this society. It goes on in the world, but certainly here, that seems to be a tool book and a playbook, a function that they run in America, right? So that's why. That's why it's done like that. But now we always talk about individual and collective responsibility. So certainly wherever our individual responsibility comes in and lies and exists, and then collectively, we should definitely be on point, responsible, showing up, for duty. The minister and them have a saying, you got to be, what is it, brother, on point and on post at all times. Yes, sir. So that's what we got to do with ourselves in our life. Okay. And not listen to these different narratives. The narrative with the music says that our women are, very loose and very lascivious, very over sexualized, quick to act in a sexual manner, and you would do it for free or for fun, or for a little fee and all this. And our men are criminals and disease carriers and savages and drug induced individuals, insane out of their mind, being inebriated with some chemical substance. That's not true.
Hold right there, brother.
But that's the overwhelming narrative.
Exactly. Hold right there, brother. We're gonna certainly circle back around to you. Gotta stay still on our time element here. We got another somebody else. We got, as a matter of fact, Joseph. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Oh, good morning, sir. Good morning, family. Great conversation.
Hey, appreciate you, man. What's on your heart?
Yeah, I was reflecting and thinking. I was reading some statistical data that said there was 45,224 gun deaths in 2020 alone. We haven't factored in 2021 and 22 in the U.S. And there was only 10 gun deaths in Japan in 1 year.
Wow.
So most developing countries should be our benchmark if we're going to measure something, not just whether it's in the black or white community. But I'm afraid of that notion that we should simply say that white on white crime has its own problems, and Hispanic or brown on brown or whatever have their problem. I'm afraid if we do that, if we say that, then we're going to trivialize the problem we have in our community. And we have to look at our community responsibly as the leaders, the elders of the community. I mean, granted, we're in a system and we don't have much control over the system. We don't have control over the political apparatus so that we can go in and regulate some behavior, and uses of guns and whatnot. We're trying to do it. We're trying to get bills passed through the House and Senate, but we see the obstacles in our way. There are some elements there that want to block such an effort. Now, I don't know why, because all of us are affected by gun violence in this country. We're all affected. Howbeit, those who have the lesser resources, the lesser access to power, are suffering more. So in the black community, we're suffering more because we don't have access to that power, the resources that we need to stop it. There are many of us out here working to stop gun violence in our community. There are many of us. I speak to them on a regular. I'm involved myself in several areas of the Metro Atlanta area. But we lack the resources, and we there was a time in the Black community when we controlled what we listened to on the radio for the most part. Black music had different content than what it has today. If we overlook that fact, then shame on us, because that is a fact. Now we don't control the movies, we don't control these video games. So, and we know we got problem with mental health in our community, but we don't control access to that either. In fact, Mr. Trump cut millions of dollars from mental health, just as he cut billions from affordable housing. All of that increased the misery index in our community and caused more anger and violence. So we have to look at the whole system too. We can't just dismiss this as a simple, it just happened with Black people like it do with white people and Hispanic. No, it's deeper than that. We got to go deeper than that. And I agree with Farrakhan. We got to stay on our post.
Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
Good deal. Good to stay right there, brother. We're gonna come right back to you. We're gonna circle around. We got Toussaint. Toussaint, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good deal. Good deal. Asking the question, brother. Why is it? We're talking on black crime, and why is it pushed so much our situation, but not white on white crime, which happens as well, Latino on Latino, which happens as well, Oriental or whatever the ethnicity or racial group, it happened in their community as well. So why is it pushed so much? Why is the light shine so heavily on when it's in our community, black on black crime? Why do you think that is, Toussaint?
Oh no, I guess I'm not in the white neighborhood, so I don't even recognize it. It's just me.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the media has some things to do with it too, because we focus on who's controlling the narrative. You think? I mean, do you really think that white folks don't kill each other?
They do.
I can see them. I'm like, yeehaw!
Lord,
I'm sorry. I went up a little bit. We come back to the light, Caroline. What I'm saying, I'm not in the Oriental community, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We know what we see. We focus on it. We know that in our neighborhoods that's happening. But see, we have a lack of communication. We don't want to talk it out. I mean, I see some stuff that I'm saying to myself, my gracious, I mean, it's people, I see young ladies, they're fighting each other, and somebody's taking a video camera.
Yes.
And they're just watching. Get a girl. And I'm saying to myself, where's the mom? Where's those that have instructions to give them? Where's the direction? Where's the parents of those that are just wasting their lives and letting everybody see it? So I mean, we do it to ourselves. We can't blame nobody else. But it happens everywhere else. I'm just saying.
It happens everywhere else. Absolutely. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Cassandra,
what do you think about this, man? Why is the light shine so heavily on our community and not likewise in other communities? Black on black crime it's a conversation that people have all the time, but there's never like a white on white crime or Latino on Latino. Those conversations are not had as often. Why do you think that is?
I'll unfortunately, the percentages are just totally disproportionate to other races. I mean, it really doesn't make any sense. So I don't make excuses for us when it comes to stuff like this. We need to do better. Why are we like 15% of the population, but we are 50-something% of murders? What? We need to do better. Find out what it is that's making our community so. I live in a senior building, right? And we're surrounded pretty much by Black neighborhoods further down the street from us. We are getting our cars, and I'm talking, it's like I don't know how many units in here, but it's nothing but Black older people, most of us retired, or, you know what I'm saying, some still having to work just to make ends meet. Our cars are being broken into every freaking week. We have several cars broken into, windows knocked out, steering wheels, cars stolen in our neighborhood.
Wow.
And you know there's a senior building. You know that there are seniors there, people that are barely making it month to month. And you're breaking into your own. Why don't you go breaking up in Buckhead or some of these other areas where you're not doing that. We're doing it in our neighborhood. So for me, we need to do better. Somebody tell me what to do, because I talk to young people all the time. And I'm not getting no real answers as to why we vandalize and murder in our own communities. But we're not going out there to the white communities and doing it.
Wow.
It's something wrong with that.
Something wrong with it. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
So just listening is our problem.
Leonard, you something going on with your volume, brother. Leonard? Okay. Let me come back to you, brother. Something going on with your volume. Let me come back to you. Rico, talk to me.
Universe works funny. Look, man, we can beat around the bush and get all eloquent, but what it really boils down to is the fact that it's convenient. It's very convenient, but it's convenient for certain reasons. So I've talked about that unconscious aggression. But see, this is the thing. I'm like Joseph. I'm glad that brother called in, and let me say to him and Pete, don't say video games. Do not say media. Ain't no video games got nothing to do with this. I said the same thing earlier. But in this process of us trying to understand why we have these issues, like Joseph said, now, what's going on in the white community and Hispanic community right now don't mean nothing. I really don't think the light has been shined on us the way it needs to. I think it's only shine when they want to promote Second Amendment rights and why they need guns. I think that's the only time they shine a light on it. If they really shine the light on it, then they would have to understand the science, the psychology behind what's going on, because it would be acknowledged truly as a deviant behavior, not only a dysfunctional behavior for a community of people to prey upon itself, or to be predators upon itself, to find it okay. It's the same, and it trickles down to the household, because the people that can't survive in those communities take it out on their children when they can't be the victors. But it was, listen, man, we can sit back and try to minimize it and just say everybody murder, everybody wicked, it's just some people. We could say, gangs was bad. We could sit back and pinpoint and point the finger at who's wrong, but we still have to understand the psychology behind those people that are making those choices. So now this is what we unconsciously say. Let me take a drink of water right quick. If those people that did January 6th would have been black, they would have killed them. Why? Because we feel like they don't value black lives. And if we don't went through 400 years of feeling like nobody value black lives, but somehow we got to win in conflict and we got to survive, sooner or later we going to challenge the easiest prey, that you have the less consequence or less pushback for the offenses that you do. And you have seen historically that a lot of people killed black people and got away with it.
30 seconds.
We know this is an unconscious behavior that was passed down. I hate that we sit back and try to discredit each other, but really what it boils down to, if they had to address that unconsciously, we know it's a problem. If we can say, if those people that stormed the Capitol would have been black, there would have been some bodies out there, then we already know. If we could go back and look at police reports and say, these guys had mug shots of only black people, that means that they don't value the lives of black men or black people.
Good deal.
So now the obvious is that we have this disproportionate number of violence and bad things going on in our community, and we don't want to acknowledge that it really is an issue. It is an issue. We don't value each other the way we should, and it's been subconsciously programmed that we aren't as valuable as everybody else.
Wow, wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. I'm looking at Deja Cat over here. Appreciate you, Deja. Good deal. Good look out. And share the broadcast. Share the broadcast if you don't mind. Please share the broadcast, and everybody do that so everybody can listen in and tune their ears as to or even watch what we're talking about today. The phone number you can call in 508-924-3521. Let me go back. As a matter of fact, let me go to Badger. We hadn't touched Badger this morning. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Badger, we're asking the question: why is the light shine so heavily on black community, black on black crime, and not white on white or Latino on Latino or whoever? Why does it shine so heavily on us throughout the media and throughout the world? Why is that?
Well, think about separation
Mm-hmm.
and control. You have like there's so much going on when it comes to that. You know, rap artists get a lot of media as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about all the words in all the words in their songs and what they're talking about. You know, even some of the old stuff talking about gangs and everything else. And then watch it, you know, translate into, hey, look at what's happening in this community, you know. It's just like what the rap music is saying. As far as video games and stuff goes, there's age limits for those bloody things. It's the parents' responsibility to make sure they ain't playing games. That's an 8-year-old should not be playing Call of Duty.
You
know, it's 17 or up.
Yeah.
You know how many parents let their 8, 9, 10-year-olds play that game?
Absolutely.
It's sick. So it's there's so many factors, and man, there's crime on one another everywhere. White on white, I don't see it as often in Mexican versus Mexican or Spanish. What I don't know what the proper terms for all that is anymore. So I think there are some groups that aren't as violent toward one another as they are toward others. But it's one of those things of like, how can y'all or black people, African Americans, I'm still waking up, so
seconds.
I'm like
30 seconds.
Have the right to talk about police brutality or these other things, right? If you have so much issues of black on black crime, it's perception. Well, the reason why this is happening is because you know, the average white person's gonna go, well, he probably didn't listen. He probably was, you know, that aggressive black male, you know, doing a crime and didn't listen or anything, and it was probably an accident, but they'll probably get, you know, that cop like,
gotta move on, Badger.
I hope you get where I'm going.
Okay, let me read a couple of comments we got here. Deja Cat said, I feel the video game society and the hip-hop music are hold on, are moves contributing to this as well. And we have I can't say the name. It's actually he said I'm Chinese, and it's actually in Chinese, so no disrespect, I just can't read it. It said, I know that the old revolutionaries are also afraid of death. And Deja came back and they said they're being desensitized to crime, and the children are being programmed to do crime. Cassandra, how do you feel about those comments?
I agree. I agree. I believe that, listen, in order to just walk up to somebody and want to take their car or whatever and shoot them, in the face or shoot them. I mean, you watch this every day almost, and it's ridiculous. And these kids, I believe, are desensitized. I believe a lot of our community have become so used to, and we talk about it like it's no big deal, Yeah, okay. So a kid was shot in the hood, sitting in their house, minding their own business, watching television with their family. A bullet comes through the wall, and it get, oh man, again. I mean, this is a reaction to people. That means that yes, we are desensitized to what is happening. I do believe that the videos, I believe the stuff like that does attribute to that, because if you're sitting there for hours upon hours watching somebody get shot and blood coming out, and you just sitting there like, oh man, yeah, I got this, boom, 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 boom. What does that do? That desensitizes you to violence. So that person is dead spot on. That is the truth. I do believe that our community, in a lot of ways, have become desensitized to seeing the violence in our own community. And I'm gonna say this, and I'll be done. Somebody said, talked about this something that happened, but what happens is when the young kids fighting, if you're on any type of social media, because I see grown people on my posts, they will post two young girls fighting or two women fighting in the street, black women fighting in the street, and they pulling each other wigs off, and blood is coming from the face and all this. What? What? Is something wrong with that?
Wow. Let me go and there, Cassandra, there's absolutely something wrong with that. There is, but why does it happen over and over and over again? And instead of people coming up and trying to stop the violence, they want to video it. They want to get likes. They want to get go viral, if you will. There's so many different layers on this thing. Rico, you wanted to say something, brother. What's on your heart?
Yeah, man. See, now I'm glad we came back around to that, because we talk about this getting discredited thing a lot, and I was discredited immediately after I said that earlier, and then followed up with some crap about everybody that murders people knows who they kill or whatever. She just spoke of a carjacking. I know plenty of people that they didn't know they killers. But see, I want to talk about what Badger said. Those video games, parents should not be letting them play those video games. And I'm going to say games with all caps. Because in all honesty, we speaking now, listening, everybody been going deep, man. I swear, man, I've been about to shout over here. We've been desensitized. And we've been programmed. Think about the integrity or the character or just the honor of what a game is supposed to be. Call of Duty is not a game. It should be military training. But they made it a game. They made it entertainment. They made women fighting each other entertainment. They gave you a camera so you could record yourself being deplorable, because people like to see the most shocking and sensational things. And now they're making it profitable, because you could become a very rich rapper talking about smoking your ops. And you could sit back and promote selling and buying and making and building these guns that you learn to build on Call of Duty and Fortnite. You seen how cute the characters are on Fortnite? They just do a whole lot of killing. Characters so cute and colorful. You think that you was watching what's the movie that they put out a long time ago with all the crazy colors in it? It was CGI, and they was talking about if you had strokes, it wouldn't be good for you to watch it. But it has that type of pull to you. They make it look like it's fun. They talk about the subliminal programming all the time. So when you desensitize people to feel like it's okay to kill, then it's okay to kill these people, because historically we've been letting y'all kill these people, and they don't mean nothing. 1 + 1 = 1 + 1 + 1. One begets the other, and all of it plays a part, like an octopus with tentacles. All of these different things play a factor. When you desensitize a neighborhood of people in poverty to a whole bunch of violent games and music, and then they mad about their conditions, they're gonna take it out on the people that they're gonna suffer the less consequence for, and it's the most convenient. It all adds together. Don't discredit nobody on here, man.
Wow. Good deal. It's a lot going on. And again, the number is 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Pete, talk to me, brother.
When we look at the facts of the matter, many of us are seasoned enough to hopefully have heard about the rat study they did. They put some rats in a contained environment, fed one, poked the rest of the other ones, and they were in a tight area together. It was just a matter of time before they started attacking each other. Now, these are rodents, okay? But that's a scientific study. Now, when you look at the projects, when you look at the social economics, right? And this whole conversation is constantly twofold, because while it may be an application and it may be a desire from another force or entity or effort toward something else or someone else or other group, that group cannot diminish and disregard the individual responsibility. See, they tie us up with just trying to live and just trying to exist in the everyday issues of just living, and then we're not able to collectively focus on goals, focus on things that are important to the whole. And in spite of the challenges that we face, we comprehend, articulate, and we strategize on solutions, and we stay on mission to implement them. When we talking about the black, but nobody's talking about all the Native American women that are coming up missing by the thousands. Where they going? And I mean, it's a problem, and it's been going on for years. They just go missing. It's like, where they go? They are kidnapping and killing these women by the thousands.
Wow.
Okay, so why are we not talking about that? We know crystal meth and heroin are ravaging the rural and the countryside. We know that, but are they really putting that out there? And are they trying to focus on it? Yes, they're trying to get some systems and programs in place to help. See, it's a constant, but I don't want us to lose let's be aware of the problems, right? Let's stop playing around and acting like this stuff ain't real. Yeah, it's real. Tom and Jerry used to kill each other in every other scene and blow each other up. And then you wonder why the children, Woody Woodpecker, the Road Runner, the Tasmanian Devil, it was always some form of violence. And you don't think that was affecting the children who was watching it? They scientifically proved that it did.
And poor Wile E. Coyote.
Why did the child go to kindergarten and bust a boy in the head with the desk? Because he saw Tom hit Jerry in the head
30
with
seconds.
The desk. That's why.
And poor Wile E. Coyote. Wile E. Coyote called it every episode. He died 10 times in every episode. Wile E. Coyote. Right. Y'all know.
So the social engineering, right?
So
these things are real. Like my brother was saying with the games. Listen, y'all, them shooting games are teaching them young people how to shoot.
Yeah.
You might think, oh, they don't know what they're doing. Okay, I'll give anybody that's listening a challenge. Go get 5 young boys old enough to hold a semi-automatic handgun and discharge it and not go over their head. Take them to the range and get about 10 feet from the target and give them 9 rounds and tell them to shoot. They're going to shock you.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they're going to hit that target square with almost every bullet, if not every bullet. And their grouping will be so tight. Have you done this before? Yeah, they do it like 100 times a day playing them games.
Exactly. Let me keep this thing going on. Let me read this. It's teaching them about guns and how to assassinate. That's what Deja said, and how to assassinate. Wow, that's good. Let me go to let me go back to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir?
Wow, I'm really drawing on a different perspective on things, and I'm just enjoying this thing. My mind is going back to the origins of things. We start off why war was killing like that, in the focus of it. I just know it could be overwhelming when you don't understand. and it has been for me most of my life. I go back to, I try not to, especially in this kind of conversation, but I go back to the very first murder.
Mm-hmm.
The essence, all the ingredients of the very first murder. Cain of his brother Abel. Cain born the elder son, Abel really the younger son.
Mm-hmm.
Cain jealousy of what Abel had in his relationship with the Creator, and Cain angry with the Creator.
Okay.
So he's angry, jealousy, envy, and all those things. And I go back and see how it used to be with even the color of complexion within our community, even the subtle racism within Black folks. And it's all about someone being born with something from the Creator they felt like was unfair, this unfairness thing. But I just have to go there for me, because when I understood that the war, being a person that believes in war and fighting, that the war wasn't in flesh and blood, but in some kind of force, evil force or dynamic force that influenced people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when during the 60s, the whole movement for civil rights was based off of people that had a spiritual base. They had a reverence of certain things that was opposed to, I guess, a lot of things in the urban centers.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted. I was in the urban, but we lost that. We used to believe in a devil, in an evil force. We used to believe in something spiritual, in a hereafter and in a judgment and all those things. But when we lost that, there's a disconnect. And because a lot of it was false to us, but we have that disconnect to a belief in a higher power.
Yes.
That
Yes.
evil power that's opposing that.
Mm-hmm.
So
30 seconds.
Continue to listen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm good.
No. Finish your thought, brother.
If I that was what's pretty much it. And when I understood that, seeing why white people treated me the way I was when I was little, and why I was over here, the rich people had these houses and we had poor houses. All those questions sort of was answered in the spiritual realm of some evil.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are being influenced by the dark, and some are trying to do right. And I just try to
do right. Exactly. Somebody wanted to say something. Somebody wanted to say something just now.
Yeah. I want to go back in. Somehow I keep getting skipped around and skipped over. Right?
Ibrahim, come on, don't do that, brother. We got a lot of people here. Ain't nobody skipping you, brother. Don't say that. That don't sound good when you say you're always getting skipped, because you're not. We got a lot of people on here, brother. I'm trying to rotate to everybody. So don't say that, brother. What's on your heart?
Well, anyway, what's on my heart is that Rico touched upon some things, right? And I keep hearing the diatribe and going around beating the bush, right? And coming to all these different excuses or opinions. But fact is fact, it's happening. If something's happening, you can either look at it, deal with it. If you understand the problem, then you got to have a solution. Now, Rico touched upon it, right? Now, I've never seen a gang or known a gang that was any good to anybody but the gang itself, right? Now, the brother said, you show somebody can shoot 10 feet and get a perfect pattern, there's 25 yards is a qualifying round. Now, if you can shoot 25 yards away and maintain 3 shots and maintain a good pattern, a tight pattern, right? Then you can shoot. 10 yards, anybody can shoot. 10 feet, I think anybody can shoot 10 feet, hopefully. But anyway, getting back to the facts, right? We are responsible for our community. We are responsible for our freedom, our independence. We are responsible for our economic welfare. And that sounds like racism to people. I've been out in the community with these mothers that children have been killed by Pupe, a next door neighbor. I have been told by militant groups, the New Black Panther Party, Nation Islam, everybody else, that this is somebody dressed in a white suit, a white man dressed in a black suit. But that doesn't resolve the problem. We need to have more police. That'll resolve the problem. We need to have less guns. That'll resolve the problem, right? But what resolves the problem, if I'm in my house, in my community, right, and I take control over this, right, I try to stop the violence community. Even the police are saying this now. The police cannot be there. They're retroactive. They come after the fact. And about me discussing about the political genre of the United States of America, of trying to discredit numbers, real-time numbers, real facts, and saying, and then putting all this metaphysical thing with it and everything, it's preposterous. The thing is, it's happening. So if it's happening, you can stop this. If you know it's happening, you can see it happening. You can it's just like you can reach out there and touch it. You can smell the gunpowder. You can see the tears of people's eyes. You can smell the blood on the street. I know what it is to smell blood on the sidewalks. And when you do that, or smell blood coming from your own body, when you do that, then you got a solution to the problem. You get out there and start the community, make your community safe. You get respect from people. If you would control your own communities, you get respect from other communities. When we talk about the Chinese, we talk about how the Chinese together. We talk about how these people, Italians together. We talk about these people together. Then we talk about, are we not so together? We don't come, because we want to sit there and talk about everybody else and their problems, right? Solutions is right here in our community. It's me and you. It's every man, woman, and child. You know, get down and stop this, right? We depend upon gains, we depend upon a falsehood. You know, no political, social, political spokesman can tell you that gains is a good thing. It's lumpen proletariat. It's the working class, the people that have skin in the game, people that own homes, people that live there in the farm, people got to have jobs, people that are raising their kids there. Those are people got skin in the game. All the mother fools, they don't have skin in the game to embellish the community, to make the community better. They try to control the community. Okay. That's how we get pushed out of our community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hold on, brother. Your 3 minutes is well up, brother. Brother Ibrahim.
But that's the basis that we have to do.
Ibrahim.
We have to do.
Okay, let me go to Curtis. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Morning, bro.
We're talking about the black on black crime or what they title black on black crime, and we're talking about how it's labeled that based on geography. There's the same thing as white on white crime, Latino on Latino crime, Asian on Asian, whatever the case. But why is it pushed so heavily? Why is it pushed so heavily, black on black crime through the media and people's verbiages? Why do you think that is, Curtis?
Well, one is to keep people at a consistent and constant state of fear of black people. Don't get that twisted. That's the narrative, and its entirety. That's the narrative. Is in America has been black men
ignore it.
Black, hold on, bro. I ain't cut you off. Now, come on now. Black men are aggressive fighters and mandingo embedded. That's been the push for the last 100, 200 years. We good for a fight and we good at bed. The whole thing has been to keep a consistent push of fear into the society for which the black man has to exist. Right? And I heard what Brother Ibrahim said, and all that sounds good. All that sounds good, but it always bothers me when folks throw that out there and not account for the things that are pushed by a power broker or the power brokers that do not allow for that to happen. Such things as redlining, prison and school pipelines, the denigration of the family structure, recidivism rate, continuous over policing. They did a study here, but let me just put it like this. I'm just gonna have a moment of honesty. I'm gonna be transparent.
Come on.
Because I've been blessed with the opportunity to live butt-booted home in the projects and to live rather wealthy. And that's when I was young, right? Raheem, do you know I made more money selling drugs in the rich neighborhood than I did in the poor neighborhood?
Yeah, I can believe that.
There was more CDP in the rich neighborhood than I ever seen in the poor neighborhood. So, like, we keep running this narrative, like, I just don't agree with it, man. There's other, it's called precipitating factors. There's other precipitating factors that go along with the psychological breakdown of the Black community. And we keep acting like it's not there. If you want to get the Black community straight, I'm going to land the plane right here. You want to get the Black community straight? No disrespect to none of the pastors, but if you want to get the Black community straight, bring the church outside of the building. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Phone lines are open. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Let me go to Queen. Queen, what's on your heart, sis?
Hey, I was listening to a lot of things that were said. First, I'm gonna touch on the one topic that just seems to have blown my mind the most. Is January 6th.
Yeah.
January 6th. And what the brother said was absolutely correct. If those were a bunch of colored people out there of our complexion, because I'll be honest, and you know this, I don't believe in black and white. Those are just colors of crayons and Crayola boxes. They're all different colors. So
yes.
We are all of color. Is what I consider poverty.
Okay.
There would have been an army of people, like what happened to that gentleman, where what was it? All those bullets were shot. I can't remember the total number. And then he was hit with so many of them. That was unnecessary.
Absolutely.
But let that have been us at the Capitol. That same thing would have occurred. There would have been no remorse for no one's life at all. Honestly, I feel the clown, because I don't say his name, I don't like to look at his pictures, I don't even like hearing his voice. That clown should serve hard time for what he incarcerated. It's just, it makes no sense for a person to feel they need that much power to influence that many people in a wrong manner.
Yeah. Wow.
I just don't believe that at all. And then another thing was the gentleman was talking about how, like, the neighborhood, in my neighborhood where I live, I am the only person of color amongst my area, because I live in a small housing community. And there are a couple of mixed couples that live on the other side. And when I say a couple, I mean just a couple. Everyone out here is predominantly Caucasian. I've had functions at my house. Because I have a big family, so all my nieces, nephews, parties and stuff like that, they come to my house, and we're always there. I have never, ever, not one time, had an officer call on me.
Wow.
Not one time. And I take pride in my neighborhood for that, because they don't look at it as, here's this colored woman living in our neighborhood.
30 seconds.
They look at it as, she is a neighbor just like we are.
Wow.
That's the problem. People don't know how to think the difference. They choose to make their own mind up for what they want to think, how they want to act, and what they want to do. Instead of thinking properly to say, hey, this is what I should do, because this is what is going to give me the best outcome.
Absolutely. We got to keep it moving. Says, hold on for a second. Let me go to Toussaint. Toussaint, what's on your heart, sir?
Okay.
A lot, but I don't talk much. I just listen.
Okay, listener.
Anyway, you have to control your own narrative in your own house, in your own atmosphere. Don't let nobody else control it. I remember I was had a gathering at my house, and a couple of relatives came, and one brought his girlfriend or companion with him, and he knew who I am, because he mentioned, he said something. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry." He said, "Donald put you out of his house." I said, "So." So anyway, he decides that he's going to go outside, him and his girlfriend. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing music outside. Wait a minute. well, I go out there, well, yeah, man, I didn't want to disrespect your house. I said, but you're disturbing my neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I don't do that. I don't do that. I said, you know, if you want to play music, I understand you got your drink and your stuff like that. I understand you can't bring the weed in here,
Mm-hmm.
but you can bring your drink. It ain't about, you know, sometimes we want to be so holy and righteous and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I love God and everything else, but I keep an atmosphere at my house, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that don't go outside with it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you got going on, you don't hang out at my house. You're not going to do that. You're not going to hang out with my children. No, wrong answer. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
No. So what I'm saying is, if we individually can start somewhere and set a standard, maybe it'll spread.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
But the reality is, we are our own worst enemy. And, you know, people say this and that and the other. I hear some things that I've never heard before this morning. So I'm going to keep listening. Maybe I'll learn something.
We all will, brother. We all will. Badger, what's on your heart?
I heard something really strong earlier, and I don't know if people missed it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Kurt that said it. Instead of being inside that building, come out of it.
Yeah.
I was sitting there and I was thinking about that. Got a quick math question for you, Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
If you have 100 people and they all give $10, how much is that?
1,000.
Can't $1,000 help repair a broken down house?
It can. Mm-hmm.
So, have you ever heard of Habitat for Humanity?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what would happen if every Sunday 100 people all give $10 and give 1,000 each Sunday in a month. That's 4,000, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just one church. One. And then they volunteer. I wonder how much that would help the homeless people.
Mm-hmm. That's a great
I've kind of shared my opinion privately with you on some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen, and I'm speaking from a white perspective, so much toxicity in the communities I've been around.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been more accepted in black communities.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wild to me, the things I've seen. There's things Leonard had shared with me that I didn't even know happens in black communities, to be quite honest. I've always seen y'all as family oriented and all kinds of stuff. As far as the communities I've been in, I don't hear about the aggression and aggressive stuff until I either come on the show and some of you guys talk about it, or if I see it on the news.
Mm-hmm.
So my personal experiences, a lot of times I'm like, nah, y'all really can't be like that. That don't make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, in my logic brain, I'm like, oh well, yeah. From the sounds of it, y'all have a lot of the same issues outside of racism that that poor white folks have.
Yeah, exactly. 30 seconds.
And if the churches, right, that are supposed to be teaching love and light actually spent more times helping the community, how much change would we really see?
Exactly.
To be honest.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Gotta keep it moving now, Badger. Now you ain't gonna be putting me on the spot like that, man, throwing a math problems at me. Now, what if I wasn't ready for that, man? Yeah, I'm gonna throw out a math problem for you. How you gonna, Cassandra, how bad you gonna just do me like that? Throw a math problem. Now, what if I wasn't ready for that? I look like dumb as a bag of rocks on here this morning. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, you know, and I love my people, and that's why, and I work hard for any person that's in need, but I love my community, and it really hurts to see what happens on a daily basis in our. We gotta man, we got to look at it. We got to figure what in the world do we do to make us more sensitive to each other and more caring about each other so that we can stop some of this violence that is happening.
Absolutely.
You know, it just hurts me because, man, I mean, mothers, like daily basis, I mean, every day, all across the country and our communities, where mothers are screaming and hollering because their son or their daughter has been killed in the street by our own people. By our own people. And Badger is right. We are some of the most loving, caring people because a white person can come in our community, a Hispanic person can come in our community. We don't care. We don't care. We will open our arms to them and accept them. Don't mistreat them. Don't do nothing to them. And then the opposite, you can go in and I've given an example before about I was staying at a friend of mine's house in Forsyth County. And the man told me, the man blocked me and told me that I didn't belong there. Sir, excuse me? Excuse me. Yes. So we just got to do better by each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rico, talk to me, brother. Rico, you there?
It's amazing, man. Yeah, I'm right there, man. You know, it's amazing when you sit down and talk with people sometime, man, and you started breaking down things like this, and you started showing them the psychological part that it plays on us and how we contribute to it and don't even know that we're contributing to different things or embracing and accepting different things that really are detrimental to us. I hope she called in. I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and they was talking about P-Valley and how they didn't like it. They was going overboard, how extreme it was. I said, yeah, they baited everybody up, had everybody thinking it was going to be one way, but it was going to be another. But I noticed certain little things that made me be like, man, I don't think this is going to be what it is. Now a lot of these men is looking at it, they mad, they don't like what they're seeing. And some of the women too. This woman said, I don't like it. It's sick, it's disgusting. The only reason I watch it is because of the real estate. Now, I do like that real estate hustle they got going. I said, huh? I said, so you do know that just for the reason that you did like that, and you're going to continue watching it, that's going to support that other agenda that you don't like. But you don't made yourself say, well, you know what? I'll accept this just to see this part of it. I close my eyes and plug up my ears and turn the channel till I think they're done, and then I click it back on the TV when I think they're on the good part that I like.
Wow.
No, you ain't going to do that. You're probably going to continue to conform and look at those things that you find disgusting because somehow you found something of value in that it made you keep contributing to it. So now we don't found something of value in this society to keep contributing to. But we don't understand how detrimental it is to us, this behavior that we have.
Yeah.
Now, if we could sit down and just identify this dysfunction, the mindset that, you know, when Cassandra just said it, we're some loving people. White people and Hispanic people could come into our neighborhood and we'll make them feel so comfortable. Look, they can even come on to a internet radio show and impress everybody and have everybody changing their whole dialogue, black and brown. She could even have people turn against other black people because we are that over. But see, that's the psychology behind it. It's the psychology that makes us feel like that we value other people more than we value ourselves. So it don't make sense, or it ain't true until a white man says it.
Wow.
It ain't legitimate. It don't have value unless white people come to it. This is true, and it ain't all of us, but there are a lot of people that will, you go to a job with some of these people and work with them, and you'll see how they change and act different when white people come around. You be like, well, wait a minute.
30 seconds.
They don't show you no respect. But then when these white people come around, you can see that they know how to be respectful. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that you ain't going to respect this because it's black people? Man, look, black businesses, bad service. White people come in, best service you ever seen in your life. Wait a minute. And some of them don't even realize they're doing it. It's subconscious programming.
Let me
But at the same time, you are devaluing your own people in the process of catering to those
absolutely
that have made you feel like they are dominant. You know, so it's awesome seeing this wake up, man, because if we don't identify the dysfunctional behavior that has us acting like this, then we'll never be able to see it or correct the that exists that created it.
Good deal, good deal. It's amazing, and to your point, Rico, you know, being a restaurant, say a soul food restaurant, and you know, majority of the time who own a soul food restaurant, and a black person go to the table, eat, maybe you know, drop some on the floor or whatever, then two other people come and sit at the same table, and a piece of macaroni and cheese is on the floor, and then you get somebody that don't look like us to come in there and sit out at that same table, and then you got people breaking it up. Oh, let me sweep that up away from up under your table. Why did you do it in the beginning? Why does it have to be different? Let me go to who I got here. I hadn't touched in a minute. Let's Mr. Hicks. I hadn't touched Mr. Hicks in a minute. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir?
Oh man, I'm surprised. I'm just listening, bro. I just want to listen. Roll back around to me. I'm just filtering into stuff and trying to you know, it's something I've always
couldn't let it pass you, huh?
Anytime something's a national issue, when it's all over the news and everybody's focused on it, I have a tendency to try to look in the other direction. I'm saying this could be a distraction. You see what's happening over here. It's almost like a magician that they show something one hand, but something's going on the other hand. And the other side of it will be that kind of dichotomy. Let me look over here and see all the good stuff is happening. These good stories about little young guys. I read a thing, some kid that 9 or 10 years old was finishing high school and is in college. I guess I try to find a balance. We have a choice what you're going to focus on. I mean, I don't want to over-focus on the wrong thing because it just be heavy. But we know the deal. It's respective. I heard everybody's all over this thing.
Yeah.
It's architect, it's design, it's programming, it's all that stuff. And I guess the bottom line is always for me is saying you got to find a way to get in contact with yourself, in contact with your creator. I don't know how you do it, how you want to walk it. I think it's okay. You could do it any kind of way, yoga, whatever, but some kind of way to get a spiritual connection that grounds you, that you're rooted in principles, that you don't give way to all the stuff that's happening around you.
Absolutely.
But I enjoy the conversation. I'm still here listening.
Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Let's go to Pete. Pete, what's on your heart, brother? Curtis, coming to you next.
The narrative being told about black males being so violent, and definitely we have some murdering, violent issues amongst ourselves, yes. But if we're so violent and deadly and apt to kill, then why haven't we burned this country to the ground yet?
Wow.
Why haven't we killed everything, everybody, anything, all things that we just don't like, that offends us, whatever? Why hasn't that happened? False narrative. See, this is the hypocrisy of the whole situation. And that's what I'm trying to stress is the fact that they don't fall for the okie doke. They're gonna push a great majority of Caucasian everyday people. They ain't embracing this greater mindset of this many who are really the minority few. And if they such a great minority, why are they putting the Spanish down as white? Why are they putting down the Asian people as white? Why are they putting down Northern Africans as white and their ethnicity on documents when they come here? If you so overwhelmingly popular, see, this is a false narrative. The common people are common, they share things in common, and they embrace that as a whole. It's just a handful that's pushing this nonsense. They're scared to get their positions taken from them. They're afraid that the masses are going to figure it out. 90% of the wealth, and how many hands in the country? Wow. 90% of the ownership of businesses, and how many hands? So the brother gets shot in Ohio, and he shot at the police allegedly, and blah, 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 and he gets shot dead. You heard about it, it went away. Oh, there was a horrible shooting in Illinois. We have to put this all over. Let's oh my God, it's so terrible. What happened to other shootings? And they control the narrative. You talk about black missing children on social media, Facebook will shut that down and kick you out.
Yeah.
They'll block that.
Mm-hmm.
But we can take missing Caucasian children and they'll push it. This is they control the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So don't fall for the falsehood. What we want to, just like we're saying, let's identify the reality. And there's no excuses for our individual responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing we have to say to each other. We have to be responsible. We have to be accountable for us and for each other. We have to do that and do absolutely everything that we should be doing in spite of. Then check back in and let's see where we are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, the man told us,
30 seconds.
Sister, you don't belong out here. Look, man, I'm not explaining nothing to nobody telling me I'm gonna knock you over. I'm gonna hit you like a running Earl Campbell on a football field.
God almighty.
And keep it moving. You're not supposed to be here in my way telling me what I can't do.
Yeah.
I'm not tolerating none of that. Come on now.
Good deal. Good deal. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
Speak to address the issue. For me, go ahead.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Oh, did somebody want to say something? Right?
No. Go ahead.
The lady that want.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. We're circling around. Go ahead.
Oh, me, man. You know, when I look at the whole picture, I'm just one to account for what has been going on behind the frame. All right. Yeah. Some of us will understand what I'm saying. Some of us not. You know, when you're watching a movie, you're shooting a movie, you got the scene as frame.
Yeah.
What we see is the frame of what we shot. We don't see the light dude standing off to the left that's holding a light in a specific place. Or the lighting will be right. We don't see the dude that's modulating the buttons so that you can actually properly hear over top of the score that's been laid over this movie. With the director that's standing behind the camera, looking at the frame, not even looking at the actors, he's looking at the camera. We don't see that. When I think about what's going on in the Black community, I think about what's going on outside the frame. What I mean is, you sit down, you watch a news broadcast, the news tell you, oh, Chicago is off the meter. They got 10,000 shootings in less than 2 months. But the news won't tell you how those 10,000 guns got to Chicago. The news tell you why they think 10,000 guns got to Chicago. The news won't tell you that, for example, there's a precipitating factor of employment that stimulates violence. And that they won't also tell you, and I learned this from my professor at college, right down there in North Charleston. There's a precipitating factor that says that when people set down the right job descriptions, you specifically list a certain description and or requirement to have in order for you to get that job.
Absolutely.
But in all reality,
30 seconds.
An 8th grader,
I said 30 seconds. Go ahead. Got 30 seconds, brother.
An 8th grader with an 8th grade person with an 8th grade education to do that job. And I learned that from one of my professors. He walked away from the shipyard down there in Charleston because he was writing job descriptions. They kept kicking him back. This man was a master chief in the Navy. He knew exactly what the job was. And it was, you could have did this job with a 7th grade education.
Wow.
But they this stuff like that. So I understand what's going on. Who's the puppet behind the puppets? Who's the puppeteer behind the puppets, man?
And Curtis, you put a lot of descriptions out there on production with the lights, the camera, the switchers, and all the different things, the man pushing the buttons and all. How important, Kurt, and you don't have to answer this, I just want you to think about it for a second, is the reflectors on the set. There's reflectors on the
How
set.
important?
Yeah, there's reflectors on the set that people use all the time to balance out the light or to add more light or the dark. The reflectors, man. That's what's happening. We got a lot of reflectors in the society we're living in today. There's a lot of reflectors, man.
Extreme,
Yeah.
extremely important. It's funny you mentioned that right here. It's funny you mentioned that because your reflectors in the life we live in today are when you hear the same report the same way over and over again.
Exactly. Wow. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Nothing. I'm just listening. I love when we're talking like this, and hopefully we can come to some type of resolve and how we can better help our communities, because people on here, I mean, we really do have some brilliant people on this. I mean, brilliant people. So we got to be able to come up with some ideas, and I'm gonna just say this for the senior building that I live in. What we're doing is the tenants are going to hold a meeting, and we are going to demand from this company that owns this building to either get security. They have security out on the weekend. That's it. And the people are breaking in during the week. Put up a fence where the people have to check in. We can come up with some answers, but we have to stand together in order to do that.
And exactly. Let me go to we got a couple of other people that actually just came in. Ms. Rosalind, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Mr. Raheen, I'm starting to think you don't like me. This Navy.
Oh Lord, y'all numbers are similar. Navy, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How y'all doing this morning?
Hey, doing good. We're talking about, and I know you've been listening in for a minute. What do you say about this? Why is the light shine so heavily on our community when in regards to black on black crime, and not white on white, Latino on Latino, the other different neighborhoods that's out there? Why do you think they harp so much on us?
Honestly, I feel like since we have been here as Black people, there has always been a underlying psychological conditioning to fear us that we're ignorant, and we have to keep this narrative going of this is the character, this is the stereotype of this group of people. So if you could continue to push a false narrative of an entire group of people is designed one way, then if you combine that with fear, then once you control the mind, you can control the narrative. And I think that's why there's so much light, and only the light being shone on our communities, because from the beginning, that's the way it's always been set up. It's always been set up for us to be feared because we're angry. It's always been set up for us to be feared because, we're these volatile people. But we're the exact opposite of that. I mean, you have good and bad in every race. But I just think it's been an underlying psychological conditioning for our community.
Exactly. Let's go to our who else we got here? Somebody else just came in. Let me make sure I get everybody here. We're gonna switch up on the topic in just a second and go to Mr. Joseph. That's what I was looking for. Mr. Joseph, what's on your heart, sir?
Yes, I agree with your callers, man. You have some beautiful, brilliant minds on this on this feed, man. I'm enjoying it and I'm full.
Praise God.
I just throw this little piece in. The late George Carlin said that the owners, meaning the wealthy elites, do not want a population that could think critically. And I think he was on point. There's nothing new under the sun. The scriptures say, and my studies in scripture. There was one passage where Pharaoh said that the Hebrews were outnumbering the Egyptians. So let us deal wisely with them, lest they overtake us, join to an enemy and overtake us. And there's nothing new under the sun. We've been hearing of late about the great replacement theory. That's what the protesters were screaming down there in Charlottesville with those tinky torch. And that's what some of the mass shooters were saying. Dylan Roof and the young man who went into Tops grocery store in Buffalo, New York.
Mm-hmm.
They espoused to the Great Replacement theory and the MAGA movement. Trump says it. The Fox News, Tucker Carlson, he says, he speaks of this Great Replacement. Lauren Ingram, she speaks of the Great Replacement theory.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something we must, be mindful of. There are some people who are driven by fear of us. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
That's a very old scenario, and we've got to, be mindful of that. We're seeing people fighting against abortion right now, but that's because of the fear of whites becoming the minority.
Yes.
Much of that is driven by that.
Mm-hmm.
And we, on the other hand, the number of deaths in our community is probably welcomed by the Great Replacement theory.
Mm-hmm.
And we must be concerned about that as well.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Our birth rate, our families, and so on and so forth. I just want to put that out there.
Good deal. Good deal. We're going to switch over to our topic of the day. But before we do that, man, I want two things can happen. I'm going to go to Tucson. Tucson, you still with us? Oh, we might have lost Tucson. Tucson, call back in, brother. I need you to do something for me. So, Tucson, yeah, give us a call back in. And I want to play this little commercial here. I got to play this commercial. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me get myself organized here. We got a couple of messages that's on here, but I want to play this right here and let you all get you all up to speed. I hope it plays well. Last time it skipped a little bit, but we're going to see what happened. Here we go.
This is 3-Minute Marketing. It is a great advertising opportunity for you and your business. We will tell your story, from start to finish. We promise a professional result every time. Just watch the money roll in. The world is yours. Please don't let your clients pass you by. We will tell them all about you and you can close the deal. I knew you could do it. Now, let's get started. Contact dkmmediagroup1@gmail.com today.
Good deal. Good deal. We're going to jump over to transition over to our topic of the day. And Rico, we're going to start it off with you, brother. You with us?
Yeah, I'm with you, brother. You ain't seen my text message I just sent.
Let me see. Okay, go ahead.
I could probably do it later on, man, but I think I'm gonna forget, man.
Go ahead. I'm doing it now.
Man, I love this conversation, man, because we really broke some ground. And once again, Navy came in and said in 2 words what I've been trying to say for 2 hours: psychological conditioning. Then Joseph came in and repeated something I said earlier about the elite. Now, if you ever want to know who some of these elites are and what they do, they're structured like a family tree. And you have all these different corporations: Game Law, Viacom, transportation industry, food industry, telecommunication, you name it. It's a company. One of these families are called the Bolloré family. They have majority ownership in so many major corporations. Now, these corporations like Viacom, they fall under Bolloré. And Viacom may be 6 or 7 levels down the line. They have so many mergers, but you still have these majority investors and these board members that really dictate everything that we actually, I'm gonna say, indulge in. They affect they affect our every piece of human, I'm gonna say, activity. Somehow they affected and impacted the games we play, the shows we watch. They actually even really determine the superstars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they own the record labels. So, when you identify these things and these conditions, that's when I think we're supposed to step in and be our brother's keeper. Prime example. Something I noticed in the past 20 years that's been very odd to me. In our community, and like I said, every community has violence. We know this. You know what I'm saying? This is logic. But we have this thing going on in our community. If you don't want to call it black on black crime, we just call it melanated people being out of order. And what I mean by out of order, for the last 2 decades, I've seen a trend of sons fighting their fathers.
Well, looks like Raheem froze up. You know, a lot of things that we were talking about with the psychological, you know, when you're taught a mentality or a teaching or something that's toxic every day, all your life, it can influence the way you think or how the masses think in general. And it's rough and it's very difficult to deal with. Because it's almost like you're having to undo a very old teaching that's been passed down from generation to generation. Trauma. One of the best ways to understand it is research trauma and how trauma affects people. You know, and it's insane how hard it can be for an individual to undo certain thought processes. Like for example, is it better to be rich or is it with money, or is it better to be rich with community and family? You know, the general society, it leans more toward money is more important than family or community, because that's what the mass prerogative is. So it's, how do you get a whole bunch of people to get on the same page when that's the main thought process? So they're back.
Hey, good job, Badger. I saw you. I saw you over there. I saw you. You kept it going for me, man. I definitely appreciate that. We got kicked off, and Rico was in the middle of saying some of the things that he was saying. I know Jules, so we're gonna go back to him. Then we're gonna transition over to our topic of the day. Rico, finish your thought, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna simplify it a little bit, man. You know, Navy called in and she said pretty much the 2 words that summed up the whole answer to what we need, and that was psychological conditioning. Now that we've understand that we've been psychologically conditioned, when we identify the see it, we have to make other people aware of when they are behaving under those conditions. And when they are behaving under those conditions, some of the things we're addressing right now, this black on black crime, that's really us being out of order. So what I was saying was I've seen in the last 2 decades, well, a lot of sons have been wanting to fight their fathers. Not wanting to fight them, actually fighting. And then feeling good about doing it afterwards. Now, we've had a situation with deadbeat dads for a long time, but I never saw these conditions where young men didn't have unconditional respect for their father. No matter how mad I got at my father, I never wanted to put my hands on him.
Exactly.
No matter how mad I got at my mother, I never wanted to put my hands on him. But I'm seeing that on a regular basis now. So in this video that I watched the other day, I saw this man boxing his son with boxing gloves. You know, that's how some men say, well, my sons don't want to listen to me. They don't respect me. They act like they want to put their hands on me. So I'm going to give them a chance, but we're going to do it like real men with boxing gloves. And they couldn't do nothing with him. And they started trying to fight him, and they pulled them gloves off, and they was almost, look, if they would have got to fighting, it would have went to some gunplay. They wouldn't even listen to their mama or the aunt that made them want to stop. Us, you know, we identify these psychological conditions. Now it's time for us to step up and let the people know that are behaving under these conditions where they may be off a little bit. I would have taken that opportunity if I was there to approach those young men. And if not then, sometime later, to find out what the issue was, and then to let them know that that wasn't a good look, and to try to sort of correct that behavior
because somewhere they didn't find nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
And those are the conditions we're living in now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have children wanting to fight their parents, their own parents, with that same violence and aggression that they hear these rappers talk about.
Wow. And that's why I say we're so far off base, man. We're so far off base, and we've been bamboozled. But I want to take an opportunity right now and transition over to our topic of the day. And I said I'm gonna start with you, Rico, but I'm gonna go back to Curtis right now. Curtis, you with us?
Yeah, I'm right here, brother. I'm riding.
All right, Curtis, I'm gonna ask you this question, and I want you to tell me the answer from your standpoint and your view, and what you actually think about this. The question is about the music industry, and we touched a little bit on this earlier. But Curtis, is the music industry evil?
You know, I sent you a video a long time ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping that you would cue it up and play it, but it was Busy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony talking about a meeting that he wound up at, where it was discussed right after the Black Unity movement in music, how they was going to destroy the Black community, destroy the Black Unity movement.
Mm-hmm.
When you get a chance, watch that. The music industry has become extremely evil, and evil is selling. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's the mindset that you have given folk for years. You know, Pop, it's a reason why Pop was murdered, man. It's deeper than just the fight in Vegas. You know, Pop, you know, thug life. The hate you gave little infants for forever or something like that. Forever. You know what I mean? And I get it. Free speech. I get it. Right? And people stand on that. But let me just throw something out here, man. How free is speech? Number one. Number two, although you may have a right to free speech, you don't have a right to choose the consequences of your free speech. I say that because I say this. If I walk into a crowded movie theater fits 700 people, and I walk in that crowded movie theater, 700 people, and I holler, gun, gun, what do you think them people gonna do right here?
It's gonna be a stampede.
It's gonna be a stampede. Do you think there's a good chance somebody's gonna die in that stampede, correct?
Absolutely.
There's a good chance people are gonna get hurt and maimed in that stampede, correct?
Yes.
So am I not responsible for how I use my free speech?
Should be.
So, see, I heard names mentioned earlier that I honestly think should be held accountable for their free speech. Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, all of those people that insinuate a level of free speech by lying should be held accountable. And I don't care what side of the aisle it's coming from.
Yeah.
I don't care what side of the aisle it's coming from. I got 15 more seconds. I say this. How free is speech if the consequence does not match?
That's good. That's good. Mr. Hicks, is the music industry, is it evil?
It's been documented, yes. Going back historically, going back to the origins, you know, life and death is in the tongue. Lucifer was in charge of the music and its influence, its psychic influence. But, you know, it's documented now. It's like, again, this day or time of things being revealed. I mean, the oath, the Baphomet, their worship, the Luciferian that are even connected with all the elites, blood sacrifice, human cannibalism, all that stuff is within the character of music, and it's, the violence we see on the local levels in our community is in the confusion. It's all the same as above, so below. The lawbreakers are all up top. There's corruption there, so the corruption is down, and it filters down to this They believe in the devil. They worship the devil. The other people believe that he don't exist. Don't see it. That he's operating through men. But yeah, for sure, no doubt. I mean, I read some of the horrific stories about some of the whole sodomy thing, the whole transferring the body of a female body and with a male body, and you see it happen with the trans, what's a woman, what's a man. So yeah, and that's all reflected in music.
Wow. Cassandra, what do you say to that? Do you think the music industry is evil?
No, I don't believe the music industry is evil. I believe there are factions, parts of it that are definitely evil and always have been. Music is a beautiful thing. I mean, beautiful. And it's one of those things that do bring people together. We all know of songs that just, the minute you hear it, I don't care, white, black, whatever, you getting your groove on, you're happy, you're enjoying each other. But no, the music industry as a whole is not evil, but there are factions of it that have been designed to bring division, to bring hatred, to bring violence, what we were talking about before. But no, I do not. I absolutely love music, all kinds of music. So no, I don't believe it's evil, not the industry. I believe there are parts of it that are.
Okay. Rico, what do you say to that, brother? Do you think the music industry is evil?
I don't think, I'll put it this way, so people won't confuse it. Music isn't evil. There is good music out there, but the people that dictate the direction of mainstream music are evil. And that can sort of, like I said, that sort of goes back to what I was talking about in the last thing about the elites and the family tree. This Bolloré family, man, they own Viacom. Now, that they own BET, VH1, but then they also own a music company. I think it's Universal. And there's a family tree of labels up under that. But this Bolloré company that owns all this, listen, they have, I'm going to say they have at least 1/3 of all control of telecommunications or communications, transportation, media, and natural resources. Not to mention medical. These people are invested in everything that mankind needs to exist. And they have majority stake in these companies. This is one company, Bolloré, Bollore, with the little sway on the top or whatever you want to call it, asterisk on the top. So these companies, man, they the ones that run the music industry. They the ones that dictate who can be on VH1, who can be on BET. They dictate what shows can be on VH1. So you want to love and hip hop, like all that debauchery? Well, hell, let's spread it around from city to city. Miami, and now let's just show how ratchet all y'all can be and glorify it and make it look like y'all richer than y'all really are. We'll pay you good money to keep on just listen, man. Oh my goodness, the music industry, all of the media, period. Those people that control it. Now, like I said, I don't want to say all media. I just want to say the people that control the mainstream media. They are very evil. Y'all go look up Bolloré. Look up the Bolloré family. Look up Bolloré Logistics. And it will shock you to know that one company in France that got it started out of slave plantations still exists today that has so much control over everything that we need to exist and survive.
Wow. I want to go to Tucson for two reasons. One, Tucson, you with us?
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to tell me if you care to do so. If you don't, we'll move on to continue with the topic. But there's something real special going on August the 7th, brother. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I guess I some kind of way. Well, let me stop that. I have my installation service.
You're breaking up a little bit. You want to make sure everybody can hear you. You're breaking up a little bit, brother. Want to make sure everybody can hear you.
I have my installation service at a New Hope Baptist Church in a little town called Pearlington, Mississippi. That adds to the letters in the alphabet, right?
Yes, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah. August the 7th.
So congratulations, brother. He's at the installation service, our pastor, Donald Toussaint. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Is it gonna be a special ceremony or regular church service?
We're gonna have a 3 o'clock service.
Okay, 3 o'clock.
That time. Yes. Sir.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'm glad we're talking about this, and I heard some comments about it first thing, and I'm just not. It's not supposed to brag. My thoughts is, and I've already got with the community, the people that works in the community, and I show up at the meeting because I want to know what's going on in that community. What sense does it make to have a church you're not involved in the community? That don't make no sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and I heard it said. Now there's a twofold thing, and I'm just saying. So anyway, I'm gonna get off of that. But we all, it takes us all. And if you see problems and situations in your community, I don't care where you come from. You don't have to go to church.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to. There's people that I know going in that are not gonna come. Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna go to them.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to them. They don't have to show up one Sunday.
Yeah.
It don't make me no difference.
Exactly.
But what's going on, and how can we help?
Mm-hmm.
I work every day. It's not about money. I do fairly well for a person in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
But for financial gain, that ain't it. I see in the same community, and I know I'm talking, but just like this little town or this little community has about 1,200 people, and they're killing each other.
Mm.
So ain't that something? If you don't give our young folks or our youth something to do, they'll find something to do. Somebody will find them something.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So if we get together, I don't care if you church or not, I just want to find out what's going on and how we can help. And maybe we can work together. I don't mind talking to those that are involved in games. Let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
You may be selling. Selling. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's not my life.
Mm-hmm.
But how can we talk and make our community better? We might be able to help each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, is the music industry evil?
Is it what?
Evil.
I like music. I like all kind of music.
Mm-hmm. I see you listen to that country over there. Well, go ahead, brother.
Man, look, I remember, boy, and we go back to what Bishop was on. We can get into the point where we used to, hang on the balcony and say, we like reggae music.
You got a captain here. He probably knows something about that.
Yeah, and see, one thing about me that was different from everybody else, it wasn't no puff ass. The devil is a lie. You pay for your home.
Toussaint, you know the way over there. You got a roadmap, brother.
I can go left quick, man. Let me get in this corner.
Look, I told you. That's what I'm telling you. You know,
in the name of Jesus already.
You know how to get over there. You know where the corner at. You know where the corner at. So go on, make your way, brother. Captain, good morning. How you doing this morning, sir?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir. Good to have you. Good to have you asking a question this morning, and you came at a good point. We're asking the question right now: is the music industry, all the stuff that they do, is the music industry evil? What do you say to that, Captain?
Well, I like my brother Toussaint. Man, congratulations, dear brother, and you showing up, man. You're a funny guy, man. You really keep it 100.
Yes, sir.
He said it, He said it, I'm not going to say the music industry is evil. I'm going to say there's some aspects of the music industry that we can say is evil. There is no question that the music that is being played today that has its influence on our youth, the drill music, the trap music, is no question driving these young people, in my humble opinion, to commit acts of violence, because the music demonstrates acts of violence. And not only does it drive acts of violence, I was listening. You know, if you go on Instagram or TikTok, they sometimes have music behind their posts. And if you listen to the music, I mean, Lord, I listened the other day, and some female, I don't know who she was, but her music, she was saying, you know, drop down on your knees, lift the clip. It's just, it's in there with a beat, and you're nodding to the beat, but the message is definitely going into your mind.
Yeah.
There has been a known fact that every drive-by shooting or every act of violence by the youth that they're going to do something, they have to have two things that motivate them. First and foremost, they have to be high on something. Whether they're high on mollies, whether they're high on weed, they have to be under the influence. They have to be under influence. Second thing, on their way to commit this act of violence, they're listening to some drill music and listening to that hardcore rap. And that motivates them to act out what they see. The sad thing about this music, if you listen to it, the music only talks about the person that's rapping, what they want to have, what they need to have, but what they don't have. And if you listen to them, you think they have it, but they don't have it.
Yeah.
They live lives of dreams. And they talk about the things that they don't do. And so just like the other day, you probably heard this. The rapper was on beefing with somebody, and he said, well, you know where I live at.
Yeah.
You know where I live at. I've known what you know. Well, before he got there, they was waiting on it.
Yep. Rico spoke on that earlier. Yep.
So yes, I do believe aspects of the music industry, we have to stop it. I'm on a campaign. I have a record label. Yes, I do. The name of my record label is Clean Cut Records. Clean Cut. I do. I have a record label called Clean Cut Records. I'm taking the young people who love positive and conscious rap, who don't have that language in their music, and I'm developing them to be artists that we hope to put them on our radio station. We have a radio station called the Final Call Radio. It's a 24/7 radio station, Final Call Radio. Y'all can go on it. The radio has Minister Farrakhan on it, and the minister gives 15 minutes excerpts of the speeches that he did all around the world. But we don't have no music on it other than the minister music, because you know he's a violinist.
Oh yeah.
And so we want to be able that I want to present to the minister. Brother Minister D are some young artists. We have vet them. They're part of Clean Cut Records. We have developed them. And I think the music would complement your speeches. So when he gets in the mission, their music would be played around the world. And that's positive rap.
Good
and
deal.
I think every rapper wants their music to be going around the world, but it's not going to go out. Fat Joe said that he would take their music, if I developed them, he would go to Pandora. And he would make them make the new genre. When you go to, like I heard Brother Tucson say, reggae. So if you go to Pandora and you go to what genre? Reggae, hip-hop, R&B. We want to be able to put there also clean cut conscious rap.
Absolutely.
So you got a choice. And listen, so I do believe that, but I'm sorry. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
You're good deal. Good deal. I definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Joseph, what's on your heart, brother? Is the music industry, is it evil?
Yes, some of it is. And I sure want to connect with our brother of Clean Cut Records. I got some young rappers, clean rappers, who have called on me to help them. And we're working on concerts and things because we want to bring young people together so we can have a conversation and some good music. But yes, I believe
look at the morning glow.
Content of our music is driving people to behave in a way that they wouldn't normally behave, because there's a spirit in music. You know, it's powerful. Music is powerful. It's a powerful medium. And when I consider Michael Jackson and the amount of shares he had in Sony, and when I consider Prince speaking his independence for his music, and the beloved Sam Cooke, you know, who sought his independence for his music. And all of those brothers are deceased now. And I do believe that it's not by accident.
Absolutely.
I do not believe what the media said, how they died. I believe anytime we control our own music, then, and if we can control that medium, then we could change some of the negative things in our culture through our music. I'm a music man. I'm a recording artist, and I'm a record label owner as well. And I just believe in the power of music. But I also believe that it could be used for evil. And I believe some of it is being used. Our own music is being used by the enemy for evil, and it's hurting our culture. Yes, sir. Thank you for letting me share that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tucson, you had something you wanted to say, brother?
Yeah, Rick Raheem, I just have to get this information that my brother just shared with his cat, because this is the type of thing that will connect. Because a lot of times what we do is focus on what we're doing. There's so much that will draw the attention to kind of counteract some of this evil. Because some of it, the contents, when they receive it, it gets evil. So if we can have a balance and share that, that's good. So I was trying to make sure that I had the right connection to get in touch with or to share the Clean Cut.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Broadcast. And if that's it, then we need to share that connection.
Absolutely.
Because one thing I know, and I'm gonna say this right here and right now, one thing I know about my Muslim brothers is that they know how to make things happen and bring about a change in people's lives, especially us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Badger, is the record industry, the music industry, is it evil?
I don't think music itself is evil.
What about the industry?
What do you know about sound waves?
A lot.
So I think a lot of it is something I was mentioning, you know, when you disconnected. And it's the concept of brainwashing. You know, like Eminem, Dr. Dre, have been calling a lot of things out in their music. And a lot of people ain't paying attention to it. They'd rather listen to, you know, gangster this, I've got these cars, I've got this money. Even in country music, they're doing that nowadays. So
No,
it's
not in country music now.
Have you listened to any of the new stuff?
I'm just picking.
Horrible.
I'm just picking, brother. Go ahead.
I miss when music told a story, especially a real life story, an experience, something that you could relate to. Now it's all fantasy, drugs, drinking, sex, and all that nonsense. They devalue women. They devalue themselves. They're talking about gold teeth and all this selfish stuff. And dude, I have such an issue with it. I have such an issue with modern day music. To me, I still listen to classical. I listen to, you know, music that comes from Africa. I listen to my Native American music from like the Cherokee Nation and the Crow Nation. I listen to throat singing and all that kind of stuff. I am so fed up with most of the modern music of today. All I hear is frequencies of, oh, I'm better than you. You have to look a certain way. You have to own those certain pair of Nikes or Air Jordans, or you got to drive these certain types of cars. And, you know, far as country, you know, it's you need to go out and drink and abuse your wives and da 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 and all this.
30 seconds. Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna get me up on a soapbox, and I'm trying not to be angry. Um, you have no idea how angry I am at the music industry right now.
Mm-hmm. Good
I'm
deal.
probably as angry at that as I am Trump, if
Wow.
not more.
Wow. Good deal. Good deal. Queen, what do you say to that? Is the music industry, is it evil?
Now you're touching on something that I have a lot to say, but I feel like it's not going to matter because the industry, no matter what we say about it and how we perceive it, it's gonna go on.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is, I don't like the name calling on how people have just gotten so accustomed to using the B word in songs, even females.
Mm-hmm.
They have gotten so accustomed to using that word. And why? Why are you so interested in degrading someone? Because that word is degrading.
Mm-hmm.
No matter which way you put it, no matter which way you say it, it's a degrading word.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to hip hop anymore. I stopped. And rap music. I stopped. I listen to all old school jazz or something like that because
Okay.
I don't like the way the music is perceived.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was one article I saw where there's an artist out there. The judge put a halt on his music because it was looked at as being real for his life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was incriminating stuff in there that the judge is like, okay, so you're in court about this, but yet this stuff is in your music. And they shut his music down.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
People themselves, Beyonce, Jay-Z, I don't really listen to their music either.
Mm-hmm.
There may be a few, and I'll say very few songs I like from Beyonce, and one of them is the one they used in Georgia for the marching band.
Mm-hmm.
But beside that, I've gotten away from it. I've gotten away from all of that. And I'm not going to say I ever condoned it because coming up, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, Chubb Rock. You know, you had rappers that were rapping and you can enjoy the music.
Mm-hmm.
Now I see no enjoyment when I hear it. It's like my face frowns up and I'm like,
wow.
Do they really listen to this and absorb this?
Mm-hmm.
And they wonder why the young generation
30 seconds, sis.
is adapting to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because the parents are allowing them to listen to it. They can say, oh, they may play that in front of somebody else. I know that ain't my child. Number one, never say it's not your child, because unless you're with your child 24/7, 365, 366 on leave, you don't know what your child will do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can just try to instill in them, that you don't want them listening. Like me, when I was raising mine, I didn't listen to that music. I listened to Phil Collins. I do love Busta Rhymes, I ain't gonna lie, Missy Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't hear them in their music calling people out their names.
Absolutely.
And if it is a song, I haven't heard it.
Good deal. Good deal. Got to keep it moving, sis. Got to keep it moving. I'm gonna read this comment that Paul said. He said that let me pull my mic over so I can actually see what I'm doing. Music has a spiritual component that people don't appreciate. The effects on our souls are amazing. You put garbage in, you get garbage out. Curtis, what do you say to that?
Without a doubt.
Say it again.
Without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I said without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
The comment is absolutely right. And speaking on that clean music type of thing, and I heard Brother Cat mention Joe. Via text, I had a conversation with Joe before. And it was, my son is in the industry. He took a break, for the birth of his baby, but my son is in the industry, and I sent it to Joe, and Joe liked it, and was going to put him on the mixtape. So I floated it around, a couple other places, and I got the message back that said, "Hey man, we love his flow, we love his sound, but it might be hard to market what he's saying." And I knew what they were saying, but you ask follow-up questions like, "What y'all mean? Why is it gonna be hard to market? He's a marketable book. Like you look at him, he looks marketable, right?" And they said because the industry, Shorty's saying what the industry won't say, and certain industry movers and shakers are going to block him. And I couldn't help but think about, if y'all remember, we had the Black Unity movement in hip hop. Hip hop music is the universal language. It's the one language that no matter where you at, no matter where you go, you can have a conversation through music. You go to the further stretches of South Africa somewhere, and you'll see a mural of Tupac Shakur painted on the wall. Busta Rhymes, I think he just came back off a concert somewhere in Africa. You know what I mean? The UK is a very strong supporter of hip hop.
Yes.
So, it has its elements of evil, true indeed. But the fact that they blocking what rappers can say, that would unify a community is crazy. Even Jay-Z said it in Fade to Black, in the Fade to Black documentary. If you go back and watch the documentary, he's sitting in a production office, and it's a young rapper in there. And he asked the young rapper in front of the producer,
30 seconds.
He told the producer, he's like, "Man, why you got Shorty doing that, man? Like, Shorty is nice." And the producer's like, "Well, Jay, he said, but yo, that's what I'm talking about." He was like, "Hey, young buck," he was like, "Hey, how would you really want to say that?" And the young boy said, and the producer act like he don't know what he's saying. So Jay then says, "Okay, listen, man, what he's saying is this," and he said it in a rap, like right off the top of his head. He said, "But he want to say it like this." He said, "But because he want to say it like," he said that off the top of his head. He said, "But because he want to say it like this, you won't promote that. But if I say it like this," he made something else up off the top of his head that was derogatory, that was, downtrodden. He said, "Oh, you'll play that all day." So, I mean, like I said, man, I sent you that video. When you get a chance, Raheem, really watch that video. It's going to blow your mind. It's
Absolutely.
Busy B. He's sitting at the table, and he's reading, he did a memoir book.
Send it to me again, Curtis. We gotta keep it moving, brother. We over our 3 minutes. Let me keep this thing moving. Willa, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Raheem. I'm feeling better. Thank you.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
I miss you guys.
Hey, we miss you too, sis. We miss you too. And we're asking a question that the music industry. I don't know how much you know about the music industry. You might be old single that we don't know about, but is the music industry evil?
Well, Raheem, the music itself can become evil when people are utilizing it to do evil things, because it's a thing that gets within our minds and in our souls. I always talk about being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And a lot of the young people nowadays are listening to, and I'm not just going to focus on the rap music, because there are a lot of good rappers that just like the, I think it was Tucson or whoever just, Curtis, one of them just said, that are trying to put out positive stuff. And they all are being, should I say it, like put caramelized into one. But it's not like that. But there is a lot, where the music is affecting a lot of our young people, because, I mean, even when you go down the street, you hear it in their cars, because if they get a car, their second thing to do is get them some speaker to go in their car after they get the car. And then you hear all this loud boom, bam, the bomb, you know, that's what they hear. And so that's what's getting within their minds. And that's why they're thinking the way that they do. I mean, it does cause a person to think a certain way.
Absolutely.
Whether we believe that or not. And that's what's going on with our young people today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cassandra, I've seen interviews with people where they've been in the music industry, and some of them was very, very successful. But they say that they had to actually sign their soul away to get a deal. They had to sign away their soul to get a deal. That element of it, is that evil, or what do you hear when you hear somebody say they had to sign their soul, they had to sell their soul, if you will, to get a record deal?
Oh no, they did no. It's many of them that have come to realize after getting in the industry, being at the doggy dog cutthroat way that they do things, it's horrible. They kill each other in the music industry because of what they call beefing or whatever, which I still don't get that. Everybody, you both making money. Why are you going to let words exchange between you and you putting out dissing, they call dissing each other on your music, and then it leading to people's death over a music business? Even though, like, I know it's a lot of money, but it happens, and it happens more than it should. And I'm going to leave this here, and I know some people won't understand this, you know, or they won't, no, not they won't understand, they won't believe this. But back in the 60s and 70s, some of the rock groups, especially some of the heavy metal groups, this is from people in the industry that I have spoken to personally. They would they would run music tracks, right? Then they would have witches and warlocks go in and do chants in the music.
Good Lord.
To infiltrate. Now, everybody ain't on that level. They don't understand the spiritual aspects of that. But they would actually do chants inside of the music. Warlocks and witches. So it's a heavy thing, and we got to realize that the spiritual and soul realm can be infiltrated with music and meanings and stuff. And we just got to be realistic about it. I mean, I'm just, like I said, everybody won't understand that. But those of you that do, you know that that's real.
Wow. That's heavy right there, man, because that's another way of what I'm talking about with it being evil, because, you know, there's nothing pure and natural to me about that. And this is me talking. Rico, what do you say to that, man? I've heard several people, I'm sure like you have as well, well, people say that a person that said, or people, a group of people, whatever, say they had to sell their souls. They had to sign in blood to get a deal. Now, how evil is that?
That's very evil. But you know what's even more dysfunctional is that you got some people that's willing to do it.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I used to deal with this music thing too, right? And I got a little partner. He ended up doing some time. He done got out, now we don't deal with each other because his mind ain't right. But back when he was getting a little mentorship from me, he asked me a deep question. What if somebody offered you a record deal, but they asked you to do a little strange thing for a piece of that chain?
Never.
Would you do it? I said, hell no.
Hey.
Guess what he tried to do? He tried to justify it. Well, it won't last but that little time. You just do it that one time for all that money, all that access and that opportunity. I said, yeah, but you got to look at your son and look at him in his eyes, knowing in the back of your mind that you put your mouth on another man. You still got to deal with you. I could put that in the back of my mind. I was like, well, bro, what about as a man? I said, you got to have some integrity about yourself. So then later on, he made a song. He was selling spice. That's what ended up getting him put in prison, backdooring somebody. And he came up $30,000, and he made a song about it. Now, you got people like Jay-Z and everybody around here running around flashing and talking about they about to be billionaires at this time. and he decided to make a song talking about he was up 30K. Brainwashed.
Yeah.
So, you know, it sort of goes back to what I was saying earlier about Call of Duty being a game. We know what games are.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is military training.
It is.
See, when you don't respect the power and the fragility of the brain, see, the brain is very fragile. You know what I'm saying? We could be, it's very influential, depending on what you bring into it and how you are feeling and what your mindset is. The brain is fragile, so it really is important and critical what you intake. But when you put into the point where we don't respect the power of sound waves, we don't respect the power of the vision that we have, the things we see and how it processes in our brain. We don't respect the fact that music can influence and it does something to you mentally. When you don't respect that and you just look at it as entertainment, then you can have a whirlwind like Lil Nas X even come and penetrate country music with his other agenda. Somebody knew what he was up to. Somebody knew he was sick. He wasn't just no little young boy with a story, a drive to be famous, homeless with a crackhead mama. They knew he was ready to put that sick stuff out there that he's doing, all that extreme sensationalism. And that's who makes it. Marilyn Manson. Remember what he did? Remove ribs and had all kind of breast augmentation. Put some breast on themselves.
Wow.
Anything, one eye color. I mean, he did all these different things, and they make the most sensational people famous, and they put their music out even though the content is garbage. Because one thing you can't do is beat that marketing machine and that media machine that these huge corporations own. Those deals.
Absolutely.
So now, once again, like I said, if you go back and start finding out the root of all these things and what the people that have access to influence the brains of all of these people that may consume it, then you can start waking up people and telling them, look, man, y'all got to quit indulging in that. That is not just
gotta keep it going, Rico.
That is powerful stuff you listening to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart? When a person say they had to sell their soul to get a record deal, is that a part of the evil that we're talking about?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, music was a thing that helped us survive the travails of slavery, the gospel, and it was so influential, spiritual. It gave us the capability to endure and hope for better. I think that when music, when the gospel singers begin to step out into the secular music, using the same words that used to be, just change the word where it's talking about the Lord or God, they just made it a love interest. I think that the powers that be saw the power and influence that it would have. Then you got Elvis Presley and all those things that came. I think that that music in itself is a good. It's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's served in worship. But when it just call it devil music. When I grew up, my mom was a voice. It was holiness. Couldn't play no record. I was stuck the first rock and roll music in the house. I was always that rebellious one. But when I began to change, right? And I changed what I listened to. I saw how it changed how I looked at life. You know, it just was being disciplined. But I understand the traction. But I listen to some of the music now. I mean, YouTube, they give me some experiencing different sounds and hitting Cardi B and those. They talking about how wet and all that stuff. Instead of like, woo, I just turn it over quick because it's a gate that enters your heart.
Exactly.
And it influences everything. But yeah, it's no doubt. They sign contracts. They do degrade themselves in front of each other, even eat feces and do all kind of crazy stuff to draw deeper into the darkness. But yeah, it's evil. The industry, not the music.
Yeah.
Industry.
Exactly. Captain, and it's amazing, Captain, that I know me myself. If I'm in a certain, if I'm not such a good mood, there's certain songs I could put on and I could play those songs, and it rejuvenates me, Captain, and it rejuvenates me and it has me in a quote unquote a better place. But I know you spoke about when somebody's gonna go do some evil stuff. It's certain music they listen to that put them in that place, which is not a good place, but it puts them in a mindset where they can go out there and perform the acts that they're going to do. So music does have power, Captain. It really does.
No, there's no question. There's no question. Music have a great influence. It influenced us back in the 70s. We used to listen to slow jams. It influenced us to put a girl out there in the middle of the floor, put that slow dance on her. It influenced us, man, to, just have, Summertime, but Will Smith. I love that song, Summertime.
Yeah.
I don't care if you driving in the car, man, you hear that Summertime that Will Smith put out there. It just takes you back there, man.
Yeah.
You used to have your car clean. But let me say this, everybody's on there, and I mentioned Clean Cut Records. Let me explain. The music that we're calling the music that I'm developing with these young artists is called the hereafter music. The hereafter music. Y'all appreciate it because the Christians, Muslims call it hereafter heaven. Yeah. We're talking about music after the destruction of that gangster rap. So we call it hereafter music. You know that Rick Ross has what you call a Maybach music. Ours is called a hereafter. We have a panel. I had Rick, I had Chuck D, Fat Joe, Russ.
Okay, I think we might have lost Captain there. We might have lost him. Captain, you still with us? Yeah, I think we might have lost Captain there. Let's go to Willa. Willa, you back with us?
Yes, sir, I am.
Talk to me about this music thing.
I think what Rico was saying about how powerful music is, and I hope everybody understand how the transformation of music. Go ahead. You want Captain to finish what he was saying?
Yeah, Captain, you back with us? Captain, you there? Okay, go ahead, Willa. I think he's having some issues with his line. Go ahead, Willa.
Yeah, on how powerful it is, because just like you said, how music changes and sets the mood, like for certain things that we want to do. Even at a funeral, if you go to a funeral and they start playing a real sad song, I mean, everybody starts to tear up or tear down, depending on what kind of song it is. So music is very powerful, and there are a lot of evil people that are using it to do what they want to do.
Yes.
Or to make money. Because if you notice, even in our marketing or anything they're doing now, what they're either putting sex or drugs or something in it to entice men's mind. You know what I'm saying? So they use these devices, and now here we go again, as a distraction to get across what they want to do. So yeah, music, yeah, very much so. And I also heard that about, because my son, he was trying to be a rapper as well. He has made some rap songs, and he did share with me. He had went to Atlanta. I'm not gonna mention no names. And he said that he had went to it was a party or something that they had in one of the houses and basements and stuff. And yeah, if you wanted to get into the industry, they expected you to do certain things and blah blah. So when my son came back and told me that, I said, "No, I don't believe it." He said, "Mom, believe it, it's happening." So yeah, I said, "Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad you didn't do it."
Exactly. But you got so many out there, man. Unfortunately, you got so many out there that will do whatever they think they have to do in order to get into that industry, man. And they'll sell whatever it is they got to sell, their soul, their family, their kids, whatever they want, whatever they need to do to try to get into that industry, man. And they don't know what they're signing themselves up for. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah. Oh, I gotta be careful about what I say. But it's reality. That's a sad thing.
Yeah.
It's a reality. And then there are some people that will do anything to make it what they call making it.
Yeah.
What they call making it. And I'm not saying no more than what I'm saying. But when some people seem like they can't make it, I know in every area that I know of, some kind of way they make their way to Atlanta.
What you trying to say about the Peach State, man? Whoa, hold on now. I live here now. Hold on now. Go ahead, Tucson.
Well, let me just throw it out there. I can't go to Atlanta. I can't move. Period. And we've had that discussion, and it's clear.
Yes, sir.
That if you go before nightfall, you better make your way back home.
Yeah. Don't let the sun catch you.
Because there's something. I'm just saying. And people do what they want, and I'm not a critic because, I don't put what it is, sin, on a balance scale. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I got my faults. Some people have their faults. Your faults is yours, is mine is mine. It is what it is. But see, now there are some things that it's clear that I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
That's not where I'm going to go. Period. Because of the way I feel.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to put it down on you because you deserve it. But you mean to tell me, okay. And might as well say it.
Be careful now. Be careful.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very careful.
Okay.
Because there are some people that are okay with it, and they'll go as far as to say that it's a normal thing. But I'll stop right there.
Okay. Fair enough. Queen, what's on your heart, sis?
When it comes to music, as I said earlier, my thoughts has not changed. It's just that I wish that they would change how they present music.
How do you feel, Queen? How do you feel about when a person say that they had to actually sell their soul to get a record label or do some things that in normal situations they would not do just to get that record deal? Well, how do you feel about that?
I feel that it's a bad thing. It's nothing that I see as being good. It's not only in that aspect of music. I don't know how true it is, the so-called Illuminati. But I've gotten invitations sent to me.
Wow.
And you know what I do? I do it. I don't even give it any thought. Because there's absolutely no way I would sell my soul to the devil as a human being.
Yeah.
There's just no way. Because I know who guides my mind when my mind is lost. And it's sure enough not the devil.
Yeah. Exactly.
So for someone to say, the Illuminati, selling their souls, why? Just for fame and fortune on this earth?
Wow.
What about honest, true fame and fortune? Because if your voice is good enough, somebody's going to see that and going to offer you. If your acting is good enough, someone's going to see that and they're going to offer.
Wow.
But to say that I have to tell you I'm going to sell my soul and I have to sign a document saying my soul belongs to the devil, that's like a topic that I just don't, I don't understand how a person can think like that.
Exactly. Wow. Looking at the clock, it is now 9:59. It's time for us to get out of here. But anybody have anything they want to say about this music industry and whether or not it's evil before we get out of here?
But we need to let people know it's not literally the devil. It's the devil in disguise. So that's the reason why it's so easy. Because some of them don't even know it's a deal with the devil. They're just looking at the dollar sign.
Yeah.
I saw a video the other day where a dude said he signed his contract for $5,000. And he can't get out of it 5 years later.
Good Lord.
And let me say rest in peace, because even though we mentioned this rapper that got killed in Florida the other day, after telling the people to come meet him if they wanted to kill him, meet me at my house, another one got killed last night in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Once again, a new trend. Young men fighting their fathers, young girls saying that they don't, women saying that the children don't need their fathers in their lives. And then we got rappers inviting people to come kill them before they even got a chance to become successful.
Wow.
This happened again last night. Last year, they said was 255 rappers died. Most of them was right before they even had a chance to make it mainstream. And I guarantee you, only 20 of them was from like natural causes. That was just last year. Now we on a record pace this year for more rappers. Unheard of. This is a condition that exists. We have to acknowledge this condition. When people come talking about some, hey man, they doing it everywhere. White people murder white people, Chinese people. They ain't making music and killing each other over their music.
Wow, that's good.
They ain't video just fighting their daddies.
Wow. Badger, you wanted to say something?
Yes. There was two people, you know, one of the things about the talk show, right, is promoting solutions, right? I don't know if I know Cap said it, and then there was someone that followed up after Cap. I think his name starts with a J. That talked about supporting, you know, up and coming music people, like rappers and things like that, that don't use cussing and a lot of the language and issues that are in a lot of the music today. That's how we deal with all this other nonsense. There's a thing, there's this beautiful word called boycotting. You don't have to turn on that radio to listen to that nasty music. You don't have to support that nasty music or evil music or whatever label the person wants to give on it. You can promote all this other stuff. And it's insane how just suggesting, you know, there's music that I listen to, I just suggest it to people sometimes. And now some of them, that's all they listen to.
Wow.
So the power of suggestion, just individually, is very powerful.
That's good. That's good.
At one point.
Go ahead.
Yes. I just want to say I'm inspired hearing those two brothers of what they got going on there with that. That's very inspiring. And this thing on a real positive for me, because I know this here. Once the Muslims went into the boxing industry when Muhammad Ali became champion and changed the whole system, shook the whole thing up. I think that because they're organized and they got a plan and they're unified in that, I'm sure that we'll have an alternative. Here's some different music out there because it's that time. So I'm inspired.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Have my full support, Captain. You know, if you got some music you want to send to me right now and have me start playing it today, send it to me, and I'll put it in rotation. And so my thing is, I'm in full support of it. Like I say, clean, ain't all that profanity and stuff like that in the man, and it's healthy. Send it to me. I'll play it right now. Just wanted to let y'all know, man. Tomorrow we will be doing a rebroadcast. Tomorrow, my granddaughter, man, she's starting kindergarten, and they have their open house. They're having an open house at 8:30 tomorrow. So y'all know where I got to be. Y'all know where I got to be at.
All right.
Yeah, my granddaughter, man,
sir.
she's gonna be in kindergarten. She's starting school, and so I'm doing a rebroadcast tomorrow, so I could be over there and support her. So when she look out there, she's gonna see Peepaw sitting right there. Anybody have anything on their heart before we get out of here?
Raheem.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to I'm glad Willa is doing better. It's good to hear you, sis. I've been praying for you. And I wanted to say to Cap that I actually, yesterday, I was coming from the hospital and there was a brother from the Nation of Islam selling the fruit. And I knew that I needed to get, now I don't stop, but Cap has sort of, I don't know, it's something about his position and how he talks about the Nation of Islam that I stopped. I was trying to get a bag of the fruit. I didn't have any change. And the brother was like, listen, I'm here all the time. Go ahead and, just take the fruit. Is that somebody else?
Yeah, somebody that's talking at the same time. Trying to mute.
Oh,
go ahead, Cassandra. I'm muted.
So he let me get the bag of fruit, and I drove off, and as I was driving down the road, it's like, man, you don't know when you'll be back over here again. Go get the change. And I got the change and went back around. He was like, sis, you didn't have to do that, blah, blah, blah. But we talked for a few minutes. The brother was so kind. And he even gave me the magazine. He gave me the magazine, and I gave him over what, I should have paid him, because I appreciated his kindness, because I really wanted the fruit. But it's something, normally I don't stop, but it's something about having the interaction with Cap on here.
Absolutely.
That I
praise
stop.
God.
It changes when you listen to people and you stop
That's
having
good.
these stereotypical ideas in your head, like, they don't respect women, they don't care about women, boom, 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 boom. And then I hear Cap, talk, and I know that that's not the way it is. So I just want to thank Cap for his stand, and I ask you all, to be praying. I fractured 2 ribs yesterday, so I'm in a lot of pain. But I was determined to come on today, especially so that I can let Cap know that.
Absolutely. And we ain't gonna wait for that. We're gonna make sure we add you into the prayer. We're gonna make sure we add you into the prayer. Go ahead, Captain.
Man, thank you so much, sister. Y'all have most certainly inspired me as well. And anytime you come across any of the brothers, anybody on this line, the Fruit of Islam, mention my name, Captain Dennis. And they ain't gonna believe you know me. They see me in the celebrity thing, but mention my name. Every FY in the Nation of Islam, most of them know who I am. But thank you, sir. I'm so glad.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother. Please, brother. I mean, I'm you. I would like for y'all, if y'all got some real nice, young, up-and-coming artists that you want to develop, we're going to develop them.
Yeah.
See, the minister said this, you don't have to condemn a dirty glass, just in a clean glass beside it. See, we no longer go condemn that evil rap. We're going to put a clean glass. You don't have to condemn a dirty glass, just set a clean glass beside it.
Yes. Wow.
Clean cut records would be that clean glass. And people know, man, I don't want that. I want that glass there. So thank y'all so much for indulging me. And I hope that we can make something out, because it's real. The record label is real, and I have the artist that's going to get behind me, helping me to develop them. Just me love it, because he was him, KRS-One. Y'all old school. Y'all know.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
We get back to that. Conscious rap to lift up the consciousness of Black people, not degrade Black people. They're not going to use no language that's going to degrade us, but language that's going to uplift us.
Yes.
I mean, we call it rap. That's what we're going for. Thank you for giving me this time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, if you get an opportunity, when you get it, send it to us, man. We'll play it right here on DK, man. We'll play it right here, every day.
Beautiful.
Put it on rotation.
See, that's the kind of platform we need. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So
giving them a platform. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Raheem.
Absolutely. Rico. Rico. Where Rico at? Rico, wake up. And, hold on. I had to mute him because he had some background noise. Okay. There you go. Rico.
What's up, man?
What's going on at 3 o'clock today?
Man, first off, beautiful show today, man.
Praise God.
I think people got a lot out of this. If you didn't know, now you know.
Yes, sir.
And then even hearing Cassandra talk, that misperception that she had.
Yeah.
If she didn't know, now she knows that the nation got some good men in there, and they got some good content. It's a good, powerful way for people to go in, man. It's an awesome show you had today. I think people got a lot out of it. If you missed today's show and would like to see this or hear the rebroadcast in its entirety, tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com to see all this fabulous content that went down today.
Good deal. Good deal. I got to ask a question, man. I last couple of days I missed So I think she's here today, Rico. I think she's here. Willa.
Man, we gotta get us a special one, man. We gotta get one makeup for 2 days and then one for tomorrow.
Exactly. and she got to add Cassandra broke two of her ribs, fractured two of her ribs yesterday. Man, we got to say a prayer for our sister too, that healing. And so I'm gonna go to Willa, and I'm asking Willa, is she ready?
I'm ready, Raheem.
No.
I am ready.
I didn't do it right. Willa,
I'm ready, Raheem.
Are you ready?
No.
Are you ready?
Raheem.
Yes.
I am ready.
Well, Willa,
I am so. I thank you guys so much for your prayers.
Absolutely.
And I am ready to go to the throne this morning. Let's go, Raheem. Let's go.
Well, let's go.
Let's go. Father God in heaven, Lord, first I just want to thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for your healing power, Lord. Father, I know it wasn't nobody but you in the name of Jesus, Lord. Father, I thank you for all you've done and what you're going to do in our lives. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to get up this morning to see another day. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be on one accord, to be inspiring and sending out life-changing messages. Father, it's all because of you, Lord. You said that where there are two or more gathered in your name, that you will be in the midst. Lord, I know you were in the midst. I thank you so much, Lord, for your protection, your guidance, Lord, your inspiration, your wisdom, your understanding, your power. I thank you, Lord, for allowing the Holy Spirit to keep us. Touch each and every last one that's on this line. Keep Raheem and his family safe. Thank you in the name of Jesus for all you do in each and every last one life. Keep protecting them, loving on their family, making them the men you want them to be and the women that they are. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, and amen. Thank you, Lord.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Glory to God. Thank you, Jesus.
Y'all heard it. On that note, we can get out of here today. And like I said, everybody that's listening and watching us know that we will be here tomorrow, but it will be a rebroadcast of one of our old shows. I gotta go in archives and pick one, and we'll play it tomorrow morning because I have to be with my granddaughter. She's going to kindergarten, and so I want to make sure that when she look out there in that audience, with all them people that's out there, she got to see people. She got to see people sitting there. Just I'm gonna be smiling, happy. I'm gonna be behind a happy elephant lady and porcupine proud of my granddaughter as she's taking up that first step on that journey called education. And ain't no telling where she's gonna end up in this thing. But God say the same. I'm gonna be there every step of the way to support her, and that's what we all need to do. That's what we all need to do. Whether they're your granddaughters, your sons, your daughters, your neighbors, people, kids, or people that you don't even like. If they need you, be there for them. Be there for them. We got to be there for each other. That's what we need to do. That's what's gonna make this thing that we live in, this thing called life, better. We got to be there for each other, even if we don't like the people. Still, find yourself doing something for somebody that you don't like just because it's the right thing to do. Rico.
Man, you're gonna have everybody on here crying. You keep on, man. This has been a good show today, man. So positive, man. It's nothing but good messages. What's up, man?
I'm just saying, man. I need you to, either co-sign or correct me what I just said.
Amen.
Good deal. We're about to get out of here for today. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK, your media group, and associates, and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:14. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. And please, please, please Be blessed. Love you. And see you Monday if God say the same.